Welcome back once more. Good morning to you. If you're joining us this very cold Tuesday morning, the 13th of December 2022, you're slowly moving towards the end of this year. How has it been for you? I'd love to know. It feels like just the other day when I was asking what your plans are for this year, especially on matters of finance and also economic empowerment, but it's only maybe less than 20 days, less than 30 days, thereabout towards the end of the year. Have you achieved your financial goals? Have you attained the level of economic empowerment that you desired to at the beginning of the year? I'd love to know that. So interact with us. Make sure you're sending in your feedback. We'd love to know how exactly your progress looks like, even as we head on to the new year of 2023. It is the 13th of December, as I said there, just a day after the Jamhuri Day celebrations, where Kenya marks its independence from, was attained in 1963. So we had the celebration, which was technology and a futuristic theme of technology and innovation there at the 59th Jamhuri Day celebrations of Kenya. And President William Ruto, of course, taking center stage to give his remarks on exactly how we can innovate our way into the future. In a fit that had technology as its theme, a lot of progress has been made, of course, in trying to get a digital revolution underway, silently so, as the president calls it, into the future of Kenya. So the theme there being connect, innovate, and inspire. We get to take a look at what kind of innovations that Kenya has done to ensure that we're connecting to each other, we are innovating in business and in any other aspect of the economy, and also we are inspiring future generations that will be technology empowered. Ruto took his stage, of course, to highlight some of those achievements that he's been able to do in the first 90 days in office, having taken, of course, ranks as the 5th President of the Republic. Just less than 100 days ago, President William Ruto used this Jamhuri Day podium to give a scorecard of some of his administration's promises, his successes, and promising, of course, to do more, even as the pledges that he made during his campaign almost come to, or some of them have not been met, as we head to 10 days before the deadline, that is at the 24th to the 26th thereabout of this December is when President William Ruto will have been 100 days into office. And some of those Jamhuri Day promises, I think I'll just quickly go through them in what he said will be the plan in taking Kenya to the next frontier: to build 100,000 kilometers of digital superhighway to allow internet access to homes, cities, towns, and also every part of Kenya. He plans as well to transfer 85%, this is about 5,000 services of the remaining government services, to the digital space in the next 6 months, to deliver fertilizer and subsidy to 1.3 million farmers through e-vouchers. Of course, as you can notice there, the trend is technology. E-vouchers are going to help to eliminate brokers and cartels, to deliver 1 million tech jobs in partnership with technology and digital space leaders, to actualize the dream of home ownership by delivering house units with monthly installments of between 2,500 and 10,000. The 6th one there is the Kenya Industrial Estate, to provide coaching and mentorship to 100,000 entrepreneurs. The 7th promise there: confer citizenship to the Pemba people who are living in the Kilifi County, and this process has already kick-started, and partner with Nairobi County to recruit at least 11,000 youth to grow a minimum of 1.5 million trees in the city's open and public spaces. The 9th promise there that you can expect, of course, is chiefs to rally people to grow 3,000 trees a week, and that is in partnership, of course, also with the Nairobi County there in offering youth job opportunities in doing that exercise. The 10th promise: to rebuild and monetize sport and creatives industry through Talanta Hela plan. And particularly on that 10th one, President William Ruto promises to begin a new league of under-18 footballers in the Republic in a bid to grow talent that will be a very key step towards ensuring that Kenya, one, hosts the Africa Cup of Nations in 2027 and also gets to qualify for the World Cup in 2030. 30. All those promises, of course, we shall be having a look at the hits and misses in what has been 90 days in office by President William Ruto and his government of Kenya Kwanza. The high cost of living, even as we get to discuss the innovations that are going to take Kenya to the next frontier, food is becoming a very big issue in this country. Of course, the high cost of living, household items going at skyrocketing, of course, and also we are experiencing famine and drought in various parts of the Republic. President William Ruto continued to highlight his plan in ensuring he has an approach to tackle some of these challenges. The government has 3 plans in which it's going to undertake, the plans which are going to be undertaken to ensure that, 1, farmers are getting access to affordable fertilizers and to enhance their productivity. Also, importing 10 million bags of maize to address the current shortage. Remember, this is also still unclear on whether this is going to be GMO or non-GMO maize importation. And also the third one going to be a measure in importation by the state and the private sector of 300,000 tons of fertilizer before the next planting season. That is what we can expect in matters of lowering food prices, and we're going to have a look even further into exactly what is going to happen in the importation of these 10 million bags and also 300,000 tons which we're expecting before the next planting season. What is a financial plan behind that, and can the economy sustain such a plan? One of those other things, of course, which were a cornerstone in the Kenya Kwanza manifesto is the Hustler Fund. And already President William Ruto has highlighted, even as he gave his speech yesterday, in his remarks, saying that a lot of progress has been made in the Hustler Fund. 1.3 billion, 1.2 billion already being the money that hustlers have refunded in the loans that they took at the beginning of December when the Hustler Fund was officially rolled out to the public, saying that, of course, it seems there is progress in trying to give economic empowerment from a single individual who is at the bottom of the pyramid all the way to the key corporate captains of industry. And we're going to see how exactly Hustler Fund has been faring on in the first few weeks of its implementation. But one key thing that is also a concern to economists and, of course, people who have a keen interest in how Kenya is going to be handling this Hustler Fund in particular, we are seeing, of course, 50 billion Kenyan shillings being allocated in supporting this project, but the state will also require an extra 1.7 billion every single year to match the pension savings, which are a compulsory requirement there in the long-term savings for borrowers who are trying to get access to the Hustler Fund. So 1.7 billion is the amount of money that Kenya is going to need as it tries to match every single shilling by an extra one. The state put it like this: it's going to put up a shilling for every 2 put up as a pension remittance, and up to a maximum of a government contribution of 6,000 per annum. 1.7 billion every single year, and an additional burden that is given to the state of 171 billion, and the plan to give, of course, to cater for civil servants as well. So all these funds really have a very key part in getting this conversation started on how exactly Kenya is going to be funding this Hustler Fund. Even as we take a look at technology, as we shift away from politics to other important discussions of current times, that is, in trying to innovate our way into the future. One very key question that is being raised by Kenyans is, why is it that we are shifting, of course, from political discussions and heading to themes such as technology or agriculture, which is also another theme expected next year in the Madaraka Day celebrations, which President Uhuru said will be happening in Meru County this year. As we've said there, connect, innovate, and inspire, and technology being the key question or the key theme there. It is important to ask why we have depoliticized our Independence Day. And according to one Mwende Ngao here, a very important remark that I thought I should begin with, and a key or a food for thought for you to contemplate as we go on with the show. She asks, why is it difficult for us to have political discussions during Jamhuri Day? It's difficult to have Jamhuri Day any other way other than politics, because then we'd have to contemplate questions like independence from who, independence for who and independence for what? And questions about freedom and what it means are hard for us. These questions about freedom and what it means are hard for us. It requires contemplating with our history. A history a lot of us are either unaware of from lack of learning from school or plain disinterests, or whose truths are too inconvenient for nation building. It's easier to move forward and focus on development than acknowledge the fact that politics and our history is a conversation that has questions we are afraid to face. That is also something that you should be thinking about even as Kenya shifts its discussions around national celebrations from politics to issues of development moving forward and also focusing on progress of the nation. Those are some of the things we're going to take a look at here in Biashara Tuesday. So have that conversation. Think about that, of course, question on history and freedoms of the nation, even as you have a look at development and innovation into the future. Other conversations that we're having here, of course, with the guests that we've invited into the show, we always have a look at what is happening on our roads here on the KU TV Rise Today shows, which air from Monday to Friday. And this morning we're having a look at road safety mainstreaming, and particularly having a very key interest in Kenyatta University. I'll be having over Samuel Musumba, who is a manager of safety programs and education at NTSA Kenya, to have a look at exactly how it is that Kenyatta University is participating in road safety mainstreaming. Even as we go on with festivities, it is important that we are aware of how exactly we should be behaving on our roads, and also innovating around our public institutions and areas of work and residence, also in ensuring that we are having a mainstreamed road safety conversation. Business of fashion also here on Biashara Tuesday. It's around that time of the year where people bring out their festive best or their Christmas best, and also that has been happening, of course, across the year. We've highlighted a lot of fashion events here, even on our other shows like Art and Culture Monday and WCW. And here this morning, I'll be having Akoth Otieno, who's the founder and creative director of Olisa Kenya, the fashion business. That is a conversation that she will be having with me. We're getting to see what she's been doing in that industry. If you want to get into it, what should you know, and how exactly should you approach it if you desire to be, of course, making profit and revenue from fashion business. Albert Kimani is the head of programs at Power Learn Project and advisory support at YGAP. He is going to be here as well to give us an understanding of exactly how Power Learn Project works, and also get to know how what kind of activities are there at YGAP. I'll be giving you more information on what you can expect in those 3 conversations, which will be, of course, following up other discussions which are happening on the dailies here on matters of business. Biashara Tuesday is the hashtag you're using all across your social media platforms. Tag us at KUTV_Kenya, at Richard_Okenye. That's where I'll see your comments at. But remember, we are also streaming live on Facebook and or on YouTube at KUTV Kenya Live. Remember to comment on there. Tell us where you're watching from, who else you'd like to tune into the show, and what kind of questions you might have. Please do send them through, and also on the SMS/WhatsApp numbers there. I'll see that and also give the feedback as we go on. Right about now, taking a look at what is happening on the roads, courtesy of Ma3 Route here on Twitter, giving me traffic conditions in the city and its environment. If you are outside Nairobi, in major cities, please do tell me also how that looks like, what is the weather, and also what we can expect into the day and also the week. I'll be looking at weather conditions from the Kenya Meteorological Department, and then giving that to you as well. I just forgot one more thing. Of course, technology being the conversation that was happening at Jamhuri Day celebrations there. A very key happening, of course, a feat that is unlike any other, and we have to celebrate here. One, Nelly Cheboy, who's been acknowledged here as the CNN Hero of the Year, and been given CNN Hero of the Year award for her work at upcycling old computers in giving access to needy students who have no access to these computers, ensuring that they're getting very relevant technology skills into the future. Nelly Cheboy is a software engineer who ditched a very high-ranking engineering job in the USA in 2019 to create computer labs in Kenya. And these computer labs are being used, of course, to ensure that Kenyan school children have access to some of these opportunities which are available to others all over the world but might not get a chance here in Kenya. This is going to improve, of course, the chance of these school-going children getting tech-oriented jobs in the future. This kind of hype cycling has enabled her, of course, to get a couple of awards and has been named winner of the Elevate Prize that comes with a $300,000 prize. This is a 7.5 million grant and an additional support of $200,000, which is in Kenyan shillings 25 million, of course, to enable her to continue with this task of ensuring that this very core skill of technology and empowerment and innovation is getting through to school-going children in rural parts of Kenya. So very commendable job. We are also here to celebrate as KUTV Kenya, of course, Nelly Cheboy as being one of those Kenyans who are pushing technology and also pushing Kenya as a whole into the future. More information, you can receive it on the dailies, page 8 here of the Daily Nation, and of course online on all platforms. She's been highlighted everywhere. Check out CNN's website. You can get to learn her journey and her story so far. Let me take a look at the roads and also come back with more updates from your world in the last 24 hours, and then we can go on with matters of business here on Biashara Tuesday. Welcome to the show. I'll be your host all the way to the end.
And now, the 2022 CNN Hero of the Year is
Nelly Cheboy.
And now, in front of the whole world, I want to sing you this song one more time. Mkono wangu mdogo we haiwezi kufanya kazi, nikikuwa mkubwa we nitakusaidia, utapumzika. Really? So, my dear mom only made it to 6th grade. She can barely read and write. She has 4 daughters and she worked really hard to educate us. Schools in Kenya are very expensive. And so people were telling her, you're so lucky you have girls. You don't have to worry about buying land for them, right? They can just get married. And so, but she really believed in educating us. So she would slave away. She'd work really hard by the roadside. She was by the roadside for 4 decades. And so when she comes home, I'm 4, I'm 5, I see how exhausted she is. And I sing to her this song that says, my hands are so tiny, I cannot help you, but when I grow up, I'm gonna show you the world. And then she's like, oh, you're so cute, right? And so right now, in front of the whole world, I've shown you the world. And the CNN heroes, you have made this happen. I have to.
I know we are getting right into the road updates, but it's also important to once more recognize how that is such a very important feat, of course, there by Nelly Cheboy, who quit her job to ensure that she is bringing computer literacy to school-going children in Kenya. That's a very important steps, of course, in that theme or in that agenda in trying to get Kenya technologically empowered. And President William Ruto, of course, has been able to recognize that and other young Kenyans, including the guys from Ecobana who are here for their first ever interview back then before they were heading out to the Halt Prize Challenge finals in New York. And they won the $1 million prize sometime back this year. President William Ruto yesterday gave a directive to the Ministry of Education to ensure that they're working together with the guys from Ecobana in ensuring that they're providing or that they're able to provide sanitary pads to school-going children as well. So as you can see, it's young people who are innovating around technology and other issues, of course, to ensure that they are at the center stage of innovation and development in this republic. It's very commendable work for us to see, and we are hoping that this is also an inspiration to others as well who might not find or might find it difficult to be undertaking various, of course, endeavors in the republic. Right about now, Math Routes, a mobile web and SMS platform, still on technology. It's giving us this information about traffic and current conditions in the city. Kitambo, how they do it in traffic updates, I think someone had to be on the ground to send every single message to studio for us to be aware. But right about now, we just get it through a mobile-based application or just a simple Twitter account. So we can also get to recognize and see all around us that technology has been making more of our work easier. Here, I'm seeing that a couple of updates coming out of Kibra and Langata. Good job. One thing that Kura has done over there. And if you want to use the road from Kibera to Langata or on your way to town, it looks like it's an easy job there. However, here there's a rolled track on bypass before Gikambura from Gikuyu. I think this is an update from yesterday night. This morning it's quite unclear on the roads, or it's not very visible on the roads, especially on Thika Road here. So if you're using Thika Road to town, that is the first thing that you need to be thinking about as you head there. Dreamline, even if the business is good in this festival period, kindly do not put unroadworthy vehicles on the road. There's a bus leaking oily stuff from the roof into some of the seats, and this is in Nairobi to Mombasa route. Dreamline is the one that is being put here on the spot by Dan Mukoyadan, saying that they should not be greedy even as we head on to the festive season. Here Mombasa Road, kumeshikana mapema sana. I don't know if it's people who are trying to get out of town to go to Christmas festivities or just wrap up on work, but just be aware there. And I'm also being cautioned here that Mombasa Road users to take care. Many wild animals are coming out to feed at night on the side or on the middle of the highway. This is a big safety issue, and I'm seeing here KWS has been tagged and Kena as well. Watu wa Mombasa Road, kama unapatana na wanyama wote kwa barabara, please send us those messages. I hope it's not people who are coming out of parties at night that you're confusing, but please do send us those updates. We'd love to know. Only updates I'm receiving here from Kiambu Road as well is that there's traffic build-up all the way from DCI to Muthaiga, and I'm pretty sure that mixed up with the Thika Road traffic, going to be a bit difficult getting into town. Road safety conversation and mainstreaming, I told you, is also a conversation we're having even on the backdrop of those updates. And here I'll be having on set one Mr. Samuel Musumba, the Manager of Safety Programs and Education at NTSA Kenya. The government of Kenya, by the way, through NTSA has been introducing a very multi-sectoral approach to ensure that road safety issues are made an integral part of all government programs and projects. And every day here on Biashara Tuesday, we've tried to urge the government to also think about how to ensure that all the roads and all the public access pathways are human-centered designed. And we're going to have a look at how that streamlining is happening, even from Kenyatta University, which is a very big campus, of course, hosting up to 70,000 students at its maximum capacity. We're going to have a look at how road safety has been streamlined and continues to be streamlined in the institution. Someone else I'll be having, as I said earlier on, is one Albert Kimani, who's already making headway into the studio, going to give me, is the Head of Programs at Power Land Project and Advisory Support at YGAP, giving me, of course, a perspective into some of the work they've been doing at YGAP and also at that power project. If you want to be a part of this international organization that creates positive change by making entrepreneurship more inclusive, you definitely don't want to miss out on that. You can see that innovation is spearheading, of course, the conversations that are happening at the Jamhuri Day celebrations and also other government agendas. You don't want to miss out to reap on the maximum benefits that will be coming out of this kind of revolution, digital revolution, of course, inclusive of entrepreneurship. Tune in for that conversation as well. So don't go too far, and also ask any question that you have on all our social platforms. Going to have a look at what is happening in the news updates coming out of yesterday and also today, and then coming back with all these conversations. Biashara Tuesday is the hashtag that you should use. I'll be right back.
Unemployment has hit you hard. Your salary is meager. You decide to venture into business, but you're struggling to thrive in it. You would want to reap a big tip on how not to run into losses.
Forget the preachy business blogs, the hyperbolic motivational speeches, and all the roads down desperation.
Hope has come with model stories from small successful entrepreneurs. We tell you these tales weekly on The Budding Entrepreneur. Join us as we help you make your trade profitable and often smile to the bank.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
People pass vuguvugu. People pass ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Alfajiri ya kupendeza, ni siku njema, siku yenye baraka. Jua limekwisha chomoza, amsha wote waliolala. Tazamani, vyema na vizuri, ndugu wakiishi pamoja kwa amani. Nasikia sauti nzuri kama ya malaika, ni sauti toka mbinguni, sauti ya Mungu. Mimina, tufurahi mimina, Bwana mimina, leo mimina, neema mimina.
Ukiwa na dukuduku la michezo, tunafungua sanduku la dukuduku kwa ufahamu zaidi. Kila danadana, mitimpo, mifiatuko na harakati zote ugani, sisi ni wako mwandani. Kukurukakara zote nyanjani, haziwezi kuangaziwa zaidi ya micharazo michezoni. Mimi mwanaspoti wako matata Peter Pinches Mwaora, ndakuwa na jopo lenye maarifa sufufu, nikufahamishe na nikuburudishe wewe shabiki shakiki, kwa uhakiki na kindakindaki.
Farming Wonder, we are the innovators of the Wonder Multi-Story Garden. It conserves water from a space that you can grow 6 plants. 16 plants, you are able to do 120 plants from the same space. You can also incorporate other technologies, like with this multi-story garden, you can see we have added drip irrigation.
Katika shamba letu tunatumikia kama smart farming.
We partnered with Farming Wonder to automate this multi-story garden. You can automatically irrigate your plants wherever you are at any time.
Kenyatta University will hold its 52nd graduation ceremony on Friday, 16th December 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app and all KU social media platforms. The chief guest is Deputy President His Excellency Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111 or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
All right, welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. This is the place where you get to have a look at important conversations which are happening in the world of business and also innovations around the world of business and technology. Of course, if we're talking about innovation right about now in business or in any other sector of the economy, technology is at the very center stage of that conversation. And that is what we also try to do here on Biashara Tuesday, to not highlight Biashara, but also speak on how we can also take this Biashara mbele. And of course, that has to be done in a digital way right about now. A very futuristic theme, as I began the conversation earlier on our 59th Jamhuri Day celebrations, revolving around technology and innovation. The promise of innovation is to enable us to connect, innovate, and inspire even as we enter another decade after independence 59 years ago. Here with me in studio is Albert, who has been has a 10-year experience in the world of startup support and advisory in East Africa, and is currently head of programs at Powerland Project and advisory support at WIGA. Powerland Project is an impact organization which is working to build capacity for young people in technology across the continent of Africa, and also through providing quality, accessible, and affordable technology training. Their flagship program, #1 million devs for Africa, is seeking to train 1 million developers across the continent, and they're giving them scholarships to these learners who are aged between 18 to 35 years, and in a hybrid program of 16 weeks. We're going to have a look at how you can get to be a part of this. We always say there are opportunities around you, especially if you are between the ages of 18 and 35. A youth in that demographic has been set, of course, has been set, and we're going to see how you can be able to join this program, get yourself scholarships, and also the kind of training you can expect in those 6 weeks, which will be with Powerland Project. Welcome, Albert, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It is one day after the Jamhuri Day celebrations. Maybe we can start there. How is your feeling in the strides the nation has made so far, even if you maybe put it into perspective in matters of technology?
It's very encouraging to see the government at least focusing in the right direction, and especially looking after the interest of the young people. Combining that with what's happening with the Nairobi Festival, with the arts and the creative sector, and how that gets to connect with technology. Yeah.
So you feel like we've made, we are headed in the right direction.
Definitely in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I think the government's focus is now like razor sharp focused into the future, and especially looking into the young people.
Okay, right. You are the head of programs at Powerland Projects and advisory support at YGAP. I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself on that camera, of course. Tell us maybe what the head of programs does at the Powerland Project and the kind of work that you guys are doing over there.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Albert Kimani, head of programs for the Powerland Project. And basically my work is to design the program and make sure that it's implemented and the goals of the program are achieved, not only in Kenya, but across the countries where we've launched. So maybe I'd like to maybe go over it again. Powerland Project, we are an impact organization looking to build tech talent across Africa, focusing on young people and anyone above the age of 18 years. And for that, we have a scholarship for a 16 weeks fully online self-paced program, training young people on how to code, how to build web and mobile applications. Basically on a high level, that's what I did.
Right. Yeah. Also, a bit of YGAP here. I understand that you're also making entrepreneurship more inclusive. When you say more inclusive, what exactly does that mean?
It means that we are looking into bringing in more women, since all these both technology and businesses are more men-centric. Inclusivity means that you're broadening up that scope and building also programs that are inclusive to also women and other maybe disadvantaged groups, young people, people with disabilities and all that.
Right. You're saying that, of course, the flagship project here being 1 million devs, ensuring that we get to achieve at least that mark of getting 1 million devs. And by when is this?
2027.
By 2027. Yeah. 1 million devs all across Africa.
Yes.
Are there that many opportunities in the tech space?
Oh my, we are not even scratching the surface of the projected demand for tech. Tech is the future. We are talking about business in tech and what that means. So if you're looking at the businesses of the future, they are all tech driven. They have their foundations around tech. Right now, if you're not tech savvy, I don't think you can contribute meaningfully to the future of business. Yeah.
So it is important that we are getting more of the young people around the continent becoming devs, and of course being the ones who are going to innovate these platforms and driving business in a technology-focused way.
Definitely. And everyone's focus is in that. You look at Google, they have their goal of how many millions they want to train. Microsoft, they have 30 million they want to train. The projected demand for that is in the millions. So even with our 1 million developers target, we are just maybe bridging that gap in a very small way.
All right.
And hopefully get to impact a lot of young people to find meaningful and dignified jobs.
Right. Yeah. It is 16 weeks. I think earlier on I'd said 6 weeks, which I apologize for that, of course, mistake there. 16 weeks of training in this program. In those 16 weeks, what exactly happens, and am I a fully functioning dev at the end of, if I can put it in developer terms, at the end of the 16 weeks, am I good to go?
Maybe just to bring this forward, it takes around 18 months to fully train a software engineer, someone who can be applied across the value chain of a software development project. For us, our goal is to introduce as many young people interested in this space as possible. So, because one of the barriers to entry is the cost of education, cost of getting these sort of trainings. It's still very costly to get these sort of skills. Second, it's the sort of design of the programs that are out there. Our program is designed to sort of work in conjunction with what you're currently doing. If you are in uni for maybe a marketing or a finance course, our course is self-paced, self-directed, so you can be able to take 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour lunch hour, 2 hours in the evening to go through our course. So it's 16 weeks. We have 4 technical modules: Python, Dart, web technologies, and database. And we have a soft skills module looking to train you to be able to build, to launch startups and to be more attractive to employers. We call it employability skills and startup building skills. Yeah.
All right, so there are those, of course, skills which could be considered soft skills as well, ensuring that they are also aware of how the market works, even as they become devs, and that's very important to see there. Now, there's also a scholarship, or the scholarships which are being offered to those who might want to be also part of Powerland projects. How do you approach that scholarship? Who's eligible, and how do they apply?
I think you get into the program through a scholarship. There's no one is paying cash for it.
Okay.
You apply through the scholarship. Once you get qualified, now we can start the onboarding or enrollment process for you. So who's eligible? This is a fully online course. So we need you to have access to a device, a computer, either a PC or a laptop, with internet connectivity, definitely. We need you to be over the age of 18 because this is a skills to work program. We are building you skills that could be immediately be applied. So you have to be over the age of 18 for you to, I think in most African countries, for you to be able to legally work. And you have to definitely be computer literate. We don't need you to have any prior coding background. This is a no code to code program.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fresh off just computer literacy, and then you're good to go.
In case you're interested, you've been interested in this space, this is good for you, and you graduate as a junior developer.
All right. How many applicants maybe do you get per cohort, and how many of those do you take in?
For the first cohort, which actually we are graduating right now, we have a graduation tomorrow at KICC. So in case you're interested, you can pass by or look us up and see what's happening. So we got close to 2,000 applications. We were able to shortlist over 100. We are graduating close to 1,000.
Wow.
For the first cohort. We just did it in Kenya. The second cohort, we just onboarded close to 4,000 learners. We had over 5,000 applications. Those was across multiple countries. For the next cohort, the application that's going, we're looking to onboard 5,000 in January. Yeah.
When is the deadline for application to the next cohort?
31st December.
Okay. 31st December. And of course, now if I want to apply, where do I go? How's that journey looking like? Is there an interview process? Is there forms I have to fill, documents I need to come with?
No, there's you only have to fill a scholarship application form, available on our website, polandproject.org.org. Our social media pages, we have the links posted all over. PLP Africa, on Instagram, Twitter, on all platforms. Yeah.
All right. Another of course, important thing that we have to look at is the curriculum that you are using in this 16 weeks. Is this something that you are making yourself? And the follow-up question there will be, how do you get to keep then, up to trend? Because we know that technology shifts every single day. There's something new. There's Web 3 next week. We'll get Web 4, Web 5. And maybe what I did study 16 weeks ago might not be the same for this cohort. Is there that room for continuous review of the curriculum?
Definitely. So our curriculum is curated specifically for what we want to achieve for the learners. As you know, these days we have what you call YouTube University. You can get to YouTube and go through the 20 hours of videos there and finish a Python course. And if you look at this space and what employment looks like within this space is what you can do. They don't really care so much. They do, but it's mostly what you can do. Can you be able to code? Can you be able to build applications and all that? So we curated our own course for that. and we are keeping on iterating what it's the content and the flow of the curriculum to reflect the needs of the market. And we have these housed on our learning management platform, which enables you to access these sort of content and instructors, by the way, that are behind the scenes. So you get to learn. In case you're stuck, you reach out to an instructor to come support you.
You said it's training to work, kind of
skills to work.
Skills to work, yes. That's how you put it. So at the end of it, how do you do that connect between graduating these devs and also getting them access to opportunities in the marketplace?
So one of the, maybe I'll connect that, one of the aspects of our program, we don't have exams, we have projects. For you to graduate, you have to submit a project, which is an application, definitely, an app, essentially. So the interesting thing is we have all these apps that people are building, which are potential businesses, potential unicorns, and that's one of the exciting things about our program. But for you to graduate, we have what we call a proof of work sort of approach to the way we train, meaning that what you need to show what you can do. So we have all these repository for the code the learners have been building, and that is what you use to apply for jobs, apply for, get involved in projects that are happening. And especially within the gig economy, we have lots of international organization projects looking for short-term hires online. The app works and all that.
All right.
Yeah.
So you get to give them a chance as well to use whatever they been building during the training as portfolio.
Yeah,
for what they're looking for.
Yeah. Beyond that, I think one of our goals is to connect as many people as possible to internships. And we are currently talking to as many partners as we can to be able to do that.
All right, and I understand, of course, devs are very key in the building of a startup. And the startup ecosystem in Kenya is one of the most robust we know all across Africa, and maybe potentially across the world. And yesterday we did see, of course, here President William Ruto acknowledging some of those startups, including EcoBana, which I just mentioned there earlier, young people who are innovating in the space of health, providing sanitary, accessible and affordable sanitary pads to school-going children. So there, Nancy, the CNN hero of the year, Nancy Cheboy, a Kenyan, of course, they're also upcycling old computers to ensure that school-going children in rural areas are getting access to computer skills. All this, of course, giving them a chance to become devs or becoming active participants in the tech space. And now, maybe bringing this, you being a very important player in the startup space and having been there for 10 years. Would you maybe say we are still, it is still a young space? Maybe sometimes, it feels like there's saturation in terms of how much we have been trying to innovate. When we take a look at, there was a concern raised that when we talk about technology, we still refer back to M-Pesa. We still refer back to a few of other key technological advancements we've made for the past 10 years. Is this still ripe for innovation, or is the space saturated as it is?
I think you approach that from the challenges that face the continent. And believe me, Africa is a village. What you experience in Kenya are the same challenges in Nigeria, in Angola, in Zambia, and all that. So if you have issues with education, that's a potential for innovating around that. If you have still challenges in access to healthcare, access to all these amenities, more unicorns in Africa, addressing the challenges that each and every one of us is facing.
All right. You're also at YGAP Kenya, which is trying to create that positive change by, making entrepreneurship more inclusive, as you said, bringing in more players who have maybe not been involved in that kind of conversation before. How long ago did YGAP begin, and does it tie in any way with Powerland?
YGAP has been there for, I think, since 2013, and they've been supporting startups since then, and especially social impact startups. So we are looking for these kind of organizations that host startup. One is partners where we can drive our learners to support some of these startups that they have, because one of the challenges of growing startups and tech-based businesses is skills, lack of skills and the talent to grow those systems and those platforms. So that is how our Powerland project is coming to fit into that space.
All right.
Actually, our learners or our products are designed to target the startup ecosystem and to help drive that change within the continent.
Right. Besides being a dev, of course, you're trying to get 1 million devs, as you said there, by 2027. Are there other opportunities in technology? Because sometimes people hear about technology and then they say, mimi siwezi code, nitawezana na kucode kweli. Are there other opportunities that maybe you can point out that people can get themselves involved in the field of technology?
So this, I think this falls within the digital skills space, and digital skills across that sort of wavelength, with the development and software engineers being on the top end. But there's still more to do within that digital space. There are some studies done by AFC projecting over close to $1 billion in terms of demand for these skills, that by 2030 you either have those digital skills for you to be competitive within the workspaces. So there's still opportunities for you to build and add value to the, let's say, the courses that you're going through. If you're a journalist, there's value to add when you learn more digital skills to build onto what you're currently doing. Every space we can see massive sort of layoffs within the media sector right now is because of the shift toward digital, and maybe the speed at which some of these organizations are catching up with the changes, it's affecting their growth and has the need to go back and reorganize. And you're going to see some of these reorganizations taking place. So lots of opportunities within the digital skills space.
All right.
Yeah.
At YGAP, if someone wants to, of course, be part of this conversation of inclusivity, how do they join? What opportunities are they looking forward to?
I think they have an application right now going on in case you have a startup. Post-revenue, meaning you must have started generating income with your organization. So just go to their pages at ygap.org for you to be able to get into the organization. They support for startups for 1 year, offering grants, strategy support, and all that.
Okay.
So in case you have that brilliant idea, then you need support on to grow, that would be one of the spaces to be in right now.
Right. And YGAP is one of those which have, of course, garnered here international recognition. I'm seeing being a leader in gender and having developed the Gender Lens Incubation and Acceleration Toolkit. What does this one do, maybe briefly?
They just help you align your business and become more gender sensitive, and have that gender lens in your approach to business, which is I think still a very nascent space to get into. Yeah.
All right. Finally, I think we've tried to cover as much as we could in that conversation. Of course, we are trying to see how you can be involved in the digital revolution that is currently underway in Kenya. We are innovating our way into the future. And if you are there in the Jamhuri Day celebrations yesterday, you are, of course, you are aware that technology was the key focus. Technology and innovation was the key focus of this year's Jamhuri Day celebrations. And here at Powerland Project, they're trying to empower developers all across Africa, from Kenya to other countries, of course, outside of this nation, but within Africa by 2027, to ensure that we're having 1 million developers who are driving a business into the future by using technology and getting, of course, those relevant skills. Maybe finally, just to give a call to action to our viewers, those who want to become devs and want to come through, just once more where they can get that information at and how they can do the application.
So we're doing a call for applications for all young people interested in tech, basically in software development. please apply to this program. It's a good way to start and to see what lies ahead within your tech careers. Please go to powerlandproject.org to access the scholarship application form. You don't need to pay anything for the form. And if you qualify, you get notified. The deadline is the end of this month. So please apply. Head over to our social media pages, PLP Africa or Powerland Project Africa, on all platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
All right. Yeah. Oh, you're also on TikTok?
Yeah, we are on TikTok. We are all on.
What do
we are
devs do on
We are
TikTok?
tech company. You have to be in all platforms.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That is important. How rigorous is the? Maybe lastly, how rigorous is the program? If I'm working, someone like me, maybe I'm working and I'm also taking classes. Is it possible to also take classes at PLP?
So the most interesting thing about one of the most interesting thing is our program is peer driven. It's peer based. So once you get enrolled, you're placed in a group of 5 learners from across Africa, not just in Kenya. So those encourage you to keep on going and checking and keeping on up to date with your progress.
Okay.
So it's self-paced and self-directed, meaning if you're busy throughout the week, you can spare the weekend just to cover the week's content. We just need you to cover 3 to 4 hours a day. So if you're able to do that, maybe you can cover 1 hour in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, for you to completely and successfully go through the curriculum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be making my application. So
please do.
Yeah, we can. I will be giving a testimony of how the program goes if and when I get into PLP's next cohort. Thank you very much for coming through.
Asante sana.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I'll be taking a very short break here and then coming back with more of conversations on business. Please don't go too far. Give me any questions you have on all our social platforms. Alafu, I'll be able to give them through to all the guests that we host, even as we go on with conversations that we are planning all the way to 10 in the morning. That was Mr. Albert Kimani, who is the head of programs at Powerland Project and advisory support at YGAP. As you heard, if you want to send an application through for the next cohort, go to the website, Powerland Project, and also check out their social media platforms. You can also be checking out YGAP and see how you can plug in your startup and also get some advice and opportunities in the world of business. Going for that short break right about now. Don't go far. All right. Welcome back again to Biashara Tuesday. Asante sana for keeping it here. I see a couple of guys who have tuned in, and maybe I could begin there. Gikiri Ed saying, I'm looking sharp. Asante sana for joining in. Let's get the bug. Tell me where you're tuning in from, Gikiri Ed. It's been a minute. Asante sana for joining the stream. Elijah Kimani wa Kandara Sema is in from Kandara, Muranga. Asante sana. Say hi to the people of Muranga and tune into the show to the end. YGAP Kenya is also tuned in to the show, and we, of course, are happy to see that. Waithera Duo, good morning, Richard. The show is amazing. Watching from Nakuru. It's a cold morning. A cold morning it is over in Nakuru. It's also a cold morning here in Kenya. We've had a conversation here on how Powerland project is trying to get 1 million devs, of course, or 1 million devs in Africa by 2027. And opportunities are there for you to join them as they train 1 million software developers and engineers as well. The program which gives you software development skills with employment and entrepreneurship skills as well. Mentorship and a community. So you get mentorship, you get training, you get opportunities, and also get skills to job kind of program availed to you at no cost at all. So once you get into the program, you have a scholarship, and it's all online based, a self-paced, self-directed, peer-based program. That is very easy and very exciting to hear. I'll be personally making an application to see how it works. So check out powerlandproject.org on their website, and also PLP all over their social media platforms, making that application and tell us how it goes. They also have YGAP, and I have a couple of success stories, of course, of those startups which have been able to get that kind of business inclusivity support by YGAP. Maybe just to mention one of them, if you see them along the streets, be able to know that it's courtesy of YGAP. Here is Mukuru Stoves, which is founded by Charlotte Magai of Mukuru Clean Stoves, social enterprise that designs, produces, and distributes improved, reliable, and affordable cooking stoves for low-income households. You can have a look at that. Of course, also Usafi Green, founded by Brian Onyango, which is a renewable energy startup that is selling briquettes, clean stoves, solar panels, and machine consultancy and installation. Sustainability approached through technology and business inclusivity. These are the three important things you should be thinking about as you innovate in this current digital era. The digital workforce is in high demand, and we've barely scratched the surface, according to what Albert Kimani, the program's head at Powerland Project, has just told us when he was on air a few minutes ago. If you missed that conversation, of course, you can get it on YouTube later. But right now, just going to round up the news updates here on KUTV Rise Today, and then giving them to you, so don't go far. All right. We begin, of course, with the Jamhuri Day celebrations yesterday there. And for the very first time, Kenya celebrates a technological-themed Jamhuri Day. Connection, innovation, and inspiration, as I said earlier, was the topic of the day at Nyayo National Stadium. President Ruto, while presiding over his first Jamhuri event, outlined Kenya's partnership with tech companies and other countries in ensuring Kenya shines globally through digitization of all government services.
59 years after gaining full independence, Kenya welcomed the world in Jamhuri Day celebrations at Nyayo National Stadium.
Tunasherekea Jamhuri kwa njia ama kwa hali tofauti. Today we celebrate this Jamhuri in a special way that we have intentionally profiled this Jamhuri to be the Jamhuri of technology and innovation.
The head of state, President William Ruto, presided over his first Jamhuri Day celebrations with a special theme, Connect, Innovate, and Inspire, a theme inspired by the great strides our motherland has made in digital world of innovation, communication, and technology, ICT.
We have done so deliberately and intentionally because of the huge potential that exists in our technology and innovation space.
The government of Kenya has plans in place to ensure Kenya shines globally. First of all, by digitizing all the available government services.
Our creative sector is ready with thousands of highly talented and promising young people waiting to seize opportunities to stream high-quality content for monetization.
President William Ruto outlined Kenya's partnership with ICT bigwigs like Meta, Microsoft, Google, MultiChoice, Visa Card, and MasterCard for the benefit of Kenyan youths.
It is time to innovate our way into the future. It is for this reason that with this Jamhuri, we as a nation are staking our claim by rallying Kenyans to begin the work of designing a world much richer, much safer, and freer than the one we have known.
Ruto also congratulated the Kenyan youths who were innovative and in a special way recognized the St. Paul's University students who scooped millions in Halt Prize competition after innovating ways in which banana stem fiber can be used as raw materials to produce sanitary towels. Talks are underway between President Ruto and Meta directors that will ensure Kenyan content is monetized on both Facebook and Instagram, a move that will see Kenyan content creators smile all the way to the bank. Ojwang Mariam for KU TVs.
All right. Of course, that very important report from Ojwang Mariam, talking matters of innovation and technology in the theme of Jamhuri Day celebrations this year, the first one that is being spearheaded by His Excellency President William Ruto. One of the other things that President Ruto said in his speech is that, of course, they are trying to to provide support to all our online creatives, and we saw there yesterday some of those online creatives that we are used to on our digital platforms from TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook being, of course, recognized, and President giving them promise of supporting their art, even including saying that he has already had discussions directly with Meta, Instagram, and all the other key players to see how we can monetize all the digital content that is being produced by some of our content creators online. President William Ruto himself has a Facebook account that has 2.3 million followers on Facebook, and I'm trying to get his Twitter handle and see what kind of following he has. But he said yesterday that he wonders what amount of money he will have made if he was not president but still had an account with 2.3 million followers. So maybe he is trying to see how he can be an influencer maybe after he gets out of office, but it's important to see that he's supporting all our digital creators. Now, the Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, when gracing the 59th Jamhuri Day celebrations, has sensitized Kenyans not to pay heed to what the opposition is saying about the Hustler Fund. The President urged Kenyans to embrace the Hustler Fund, for it is beneficial to them.
President William Ruto has presided over his first Jamhuri Day celebrations as President of the Republic of Kenya. The President in his speech has asked opposition leaders not to derail Kenyans from accessing the Hustler Fund.
The Kenyans borrowing on this platform, they have not been derailed by the rhetoric of those who are against the Hustler Fund.
Within 12 days, the Hustler Fund has received 15 million subscribers, with shilling 7.54 billion being lended to subscribers, with 1.2 million Kenyans having repaid the money. According to President William Ruto, Kenyans have made savings of up to shillings 400 million within 12 days.
Why do you want to derail the hustlers who today are suffering from shylocks and from predatory lenders, and they are being charged 360%, and you're telling them not to pay money given to them at 8% so that they can go back and pay at 360%.
The head of state has offered to increase the limits of money being lended to Kenyans depending on how they return the money. According to the president, the Hustler Fund has provided a saving platform for all Kenyans while they access mobile loans of low interest rates.
Let me say for the record and ask fellow leaders, my good friends, you are borrowing your mortgage at 3%. You have the capacity to borrow from your bank at 14%. Why do you want to derail the hustlers?
President have asked leaders from the opposition to be humane and let Kenyans enjoy mobile loans with low interest of up to 8% per annum. The Ruto Rigathi regime is now embarking on a system whereby Kenyans can be able to save money through mobile accounts. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
All right, again, the head of state has outlined the government's plan to deal with the high cost of living in the country in his Jamhuri Day speech yesterday. The president said that the government will tackle the challenge in 3 phases, which will include subsidization of fertilizer and importation of food.
President William Ruto has today outlined the government's plan to tackle the challenge of high cost of living in the country in his Jamhuri Day speech in what he said is a 3-phase plan. The first agenda, he said, is to reduce the cost of fertilizers in order to enable the farmers enhance productivity in the journey to making food affordable in the country.
One of the biggest and notorious challenge is the challenge of high cost of living. And it is imperative that we have a clear plan. And I want to tell the people of Kenya, this high cost of living, we are tackling it in 3 phases. Number 1, our first agenda when we came into office is to ensure that we encourage farmers to access affordable fertilizer.
The head of state said that the second agenda is to import 10 million bags of assorted types of foods, including maize, so that they can temporarily close the gap caused by the limited harvest in the year's agricultural season, occasioned by climate change and erratic rainfall.
Our second agenda, and I have said this, is that we are going to import 10 million bags of different assorted types of food, including maize, so that we can close the gap temporarily because of the harvest that was limited in this year's agricultural season, occasioned by climate change and failure of rain.
He also said that the government would facilitate the transit from rain-fed agriculture to agriculture under irrigation by building 100 new mega dams around the country in order to ensure there was adequate food in the country.
On the matter of ensuring that we have adequate food, our 4th item is to ensure that we transit from rain-fed agriculture to agriculture under irrigation. And that is why we are building 100 new mega dams around the country.
According to the president, it is imperative that the government has a clear plan to deal with the challenge of high cost of living among Kenyans. Jacqueline Wanjiru, KUTV.
All right, let's move on to tree planting now, and as prepared here by Laban Shaban. 11,000 youth who are previously working in Kazi Mtaani program will be absorbed in Nairobi's new greening program to plant trees. President William Ruto said the national government will work with the county government of Nairobi to engage the youth in planting 1.5 million trees. Kenya is seeking to grow 15 billion trees in its efforts to combat climate change.
President William Ruto has announced over 11,000 youths will be recruited to plant at least 1.5 million trees in Nairobi as part of the government's plan to increase the county's green cover. During his Jamhuri Day address, Ruto said the project will be rolled out nationally through a partnership between the national government and the county governments.
Under our program on managing climate change, we will ensure that we build our 15 billion tree cover to be planted around the country. We will build it from the bottom up.
The project will replace the Kazi Mtaani program, which President Ruto scrapped in October. Kazi Mtaani was introduced in April 2020 by former President Uhuru Kenyatta to caution unemployed youths living in informal settlements in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And I want to thank the Governor of Nairobi. We are going to be working with the county government of Nairobi in the greening of our city. And we have agreed with the governor that beginning January, we are going to hire 11,000 young people to create the army.
Generally, Kenya is seeking to grow 15 billion trees in Kenya in its efforts to combat climate change by increasing the country's forest cover.
The Ministry of Interior has the instructions to start with the Nyumba Kumi leaders, 45,000 of them coming to the 9,000 assistant chiefs and 4,000 chiefs to ensure that we build from the bottom going up our tree planting exercise.
According to the most recent government estimates, Kenya loses about 12,000 of its 4.6 million hectares of forest land each year due to a combination of rising demands for wood, fuel, and charcoal, a growing population, the spread of infrastructure, and the conversion of forests into commercial farmlands. Just over 8% of Kenya is forested.
All right, of course, still sticking on matters of Jamhuri Day celebrations, it has been marked all over the country, being the 59th celebration since Kenya attained its independence. Different counties all over the country converged to commemorate this historic event, being the first one since the government of William Ruto took office.
Kenyan leaders from different counties were on the forefront during the Jamhuri Day celebration. Mombasa County Commissioner John Otieno, when gracing the event, assured both local and foreign tourists of adequate security as they get ready to celebrate Christmas and New Year holidays.
Tuweze kuchukua nafasi yetu, tuhakikishe ya kwamba vijana wetu wameacha kujihusisha na vitendo vya uhalifu.
In Garissa County, Governor Nathif Jama and Area County Commissioner Boaz Cherutich led the event where they promised to hold a joint meeting with their Tana River counterparts in a bid to find a lasting solution to the border conflicts by pastoralists and farmers from both sides.
Yangu ni kusema kwamba tutakaa na viongozi wa upande wa Tana River wakiongozwa na ndugu yangu gavana wa Tana River na pia wajumbe wa kule ili tuulizane.
In Kisii, Kenyenya Sub-County Governor Simba Arati has said that the health sector services in Kisii County will be improved courtesy of a collaboration between the national government and a Kenya United Kingdom Health Alliance.
I want to be the president because of the Kenya-UK Health Alliance, where the UK export finance are pledged to give us $500 billion.
Bomet Governor Dr. Hilary Bachok decried cases of drug abuse among the youth, where he called for concerted efforts among all the people to fight it. According to Bachok, his administration is committed in fighting the drug menace.
Mambo ya drugs, hasa mambo ya pangi, ndio hatutaki.
Migori County Commissioner Mr. Meru Mwangi has called upon the local leaders to partner together to accomplish the socio-economic dreams of the country. The 59th Jamhuri celebration was presided over by President William Ruto at the Nyayo National Stadium, where he affirmed that the national government will partner with the county government to ensure there is development across the country.
Now, taking a look at President William Ruto's speech in the Jamhuri Day address at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi, he gave a directive to the Teachers Service Commission, TSC, to recruit 30,000 teachers. This is in line with the government's plan to increase the teachers to learner ratio in Kenyan schools after its review of the CBC, competency-based curriculum, as now Angela Silayo reports.
In the ICT-themed celebrations to mark Kenya at 59, various issues took center stage at the Nyayo National Stadium, including the competency-based curriculum, CBC. According to President William Ruto's address on Monday, December 12, the government reviewed the CBC after concerns were raised by stakeholders to have the curriculum looked into.
We have agreed that our junior secondary schools will now be domiciled in our primary schools to ensure that we save parents the huge costs that would go with taking their children to schools far away from their homes.
The head of state assured that in their determination to improve the competency-based curriculum and to ensure a smooth process in Kenyan schools, the government has made resources available to the Teachers Service Commission, TSC, to recruit 30,000 teachers countrywide, a move aimed at improving the teacher-to-learner ratio in Kenya.
And I have also instructed the Teacher Service Commission to commence the hiring of the largest cohort of teachers in independent Kenya. We are going to hire 30,000 teachers by early next year to provide instruction in our schools.
On November 10th, officials of the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms had raised some salient issues over the competency-based curriculum, with the majority of them suggesting certain areas to be amended in order to improve the system. Stakeholders had emphasized on the need to offer refresher courses based on CBC expectations for all the teachers, as well as employing more of them to address what they described as the thorny challenge of shortage of teachers in primary and secondary schools across the country. Angela Silayo for KUTV.
All right. From matters of Jamhuri Day celebrations, 59th Jamhuri Day celebrations at Nyayo National Stadium, the president said that the task force will be in place by the end of this year. The team will be tasked with reviewing the terms of the National Police Service, NPS. He said that the Kenya Kwanza administration's move to grant the police service financial independence was necessary and will go a long way in ensuring that there is efficiency, professionalism, and accountability in the police body.
I commend the entire National Police Service, from the constable on the beat to the Inspector General, for the enthusiasm with which they have embraced the changes and enhanced our general security through increased vigilance and improved relationship with citizens and their communities. Before the end of the year, I will be appointing a task force to review the terms of service of our Kenya Police Service.
All right, now, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has announced the start of the Nairobi Festival in the Uhuru Gardens, which was recently renovated. This 5-day festival is meant to develop Nairobi creatives, residents, and witness the arts and talents of Nairobi residents. All right. That's all we have here this morning. Of course, much more developments you can find in your dailies, the Standard, the Business Daily, and the Daily Nation of what is happening in your world, even from yesterday and also going into today. Right now, we are going to be taking a short break and then coming back with more conversations. Remember, earlier on, I had told you we will be discussing on how we are trying to mainstream road safety, including and specifically in Kenyatta University. A lot of you are tuning in. Please ask any questions that you might have in matters of road safety. And as I said here, the national government, through the National Transport Safety Authority, has been trying to introduce a multi-sectoral approach in how they are approaching, of course, road safety issues. And this has been made an integral part, including where in Kenyatta University since July 2020, the university has been actively engaging in development projects and executing activities that are geared towards preventing and management of road traffic injuries and fatalities. Road safety mainstreaming, very key performance program here at Kenyatta University, and we'll be having a look at that in a short while. Of course, I will not be alone. I'm joined here by one man who is Mr. Samuel Musumba, the Manager of Safety Programs and Education at NTSA Kenya. Tell us how NTSA is doing all over the country about matters of road safety, and also how they are planning or currently also doing it at Kenyatta University. Any questions you have on road safety, send them to us, and continue tuning in and asking, and also telling us where you're tuning in from. We will be right back.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
Sasa sote tuko sawa, nchi moja yenye usawa, tunasonga mbele pamoja. NHIF, nobody's left behind. One love, one people, sustainable health for everyone. NHIF inafaidi jamii, strong as one, strong as one. Usawa ni umoja, usawa ni upendo. Afya bora bila ubaguzi. UHC Supercover. Usawa ni umoja. Usawa ni upendo. Afya bora bila ubaguzi. UHC Supercover. NHIF.
Unemployment has hit you hard. Your salary is meager. You decide to venture into business, but you're struggling to thrive in it. You would want to reap a big tip on how not to run into losses.
Forget the preachy business vlogs, the hyperbolic motivational speeches, and all the roads down desperation.
Hope has come with model stories from small successful entrepreneurs. We tell you these tales weekly on The Budding Entrepreneur. Join us as we help you make your trade profitable and often smile to the bank.
Sasa ni bora zaidi. Mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Soko moko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Yangu.
What Mkulima Yangu does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo, kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Young. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
Our children are at home, schools are closed, and I'm sure that in this festive season that we are getting into, you will need a quick fix, a quick meal, one that is easy to make, one that is delicious, and definitely fancy for the kids. So today we are going to learn how to make a couple of meals when we are using rice. We're going to make 3 types of meals using rice.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this yet another exciting conversation with Julie Olum, Head of Marketing at Beneath the Baobab. We're trying to get to Kilifi, guys. The new year from the 31st, all crossing to 2023, you need to be in Kilifi. And this is where you get to know why you need to be there. So, Julie, I'm going to give you this chance to maybe introduce to us what exactly is Beneath the Baobabs. Are there baobabs? And also what's happening beneath the baobabs?
It's almost like our whole cornerstone. There are so many baobab trees. They are so precious. You know, they're these things that, like, once they get to the heights where you can hide in their shade, they're like 1,000, 2,000 years old. That's how old and rich these trees are. But really what the festival is, it's actually 2 days and 2 nights. So from the 30th of December, 31st of December, 2 days, 2 nights. We ring in the new year. Go until like 10 a.m. on the 1st. By the 1st, everyone's like, all right, let's go sleep. And then we'll regroup like the night of the 1st, catch each other on the beach or something. For us, our thing is for you to really fully unplug. Come outside into nature. We have this incredible, amazing ancient site of ancient coastal forest, 50 acres, where you can just run around, walk around, be barefoot. I've been running around this event barefoot. I own like 3 pairs of shoes. Kilifi residents. Shoes. I don't know her.
I wish they could take a shot of my feet. I would have threw away my shoes as well, but
man,
yeah, that's the kind of fun people are expecting.
You are like of the earth and with the earth, especially us here as indigenous Africans. Like, we're at this launch event. It was mentioned how much sometimes people from outside enjoy our land more than us and find out more of what's there. For us, we're like, you guys, do you know what's going on? You know what's naturally there just in Kilifi town, Kilifi County. So we really revere and really appreciate the nature around us. And with that also comes just Giriama culture and Giriama knowledge of how precious baobab trees are. Things like Marabaini, neem trees. I've lived in Kilifi a little bit over a year. I don't take medicine. If I feel sick, I get some neem leaves, I boil it. It tastes awful, but it's effective. I treat my COVID that way. If I have a little cold, like, that's, for me, that is my lifestyle when I move to Kilifi.
All right, so it's good to have a peek into how the Kilifi life is like, but also getting to sample the whole art scene in the world, globally as well. So we're expecting music, food, and what else? How does it look like for the 2 nights and 2 days that people will be there?
Absolutely. So for the days of the festival, really what Beneath the Baobabs as a whole is, the whole year, is we champion alternative culture. Who is underrated, who is underestimated, who is not getting enough press for the amazing stuff they are writing, singing, creating, doing, you know, like photographing, everything. Who is really pushing the culture forward, but, you know, they're not going to be like on your, I don't know, your mainstream thing, or maybe they don't even have like the social media clout, but they're doing things and they're skilled, they're masters of their craft. That's what we're about. rest of East Africa, the rest of the world, across 4 stages, all of these 2 days and 2 nights. We don't even group it in terms of like, oh, this is the stage for this genre, or like this is like the reggae stage, and this is the house stage, and this is the amapiano stage. No, it's roving, because that's the culture and music and art is fluid. Like maybe one day somebody feels like they're a house DJ, the next day they're feeling very much more hip hop, and people are like that as well. I'm like that. Like all my playlists are all over the place on my Spotify. You know what I mean? Like it depends on your mood. So we want to be open and flexible, because humans are flexible. Art is flexible.
Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
It's something else, man.
Right?
It's something else.
So now, maybe to wrap it up, because we've now had what people need to be expecting for the 2 days and 2 nights, what the concept is all about. What do you feel like Beneath the Baobabs is going to do for the music and the art culture for Kenya and maybe globally, even as it does more editions into the future? What can we expect? What kind of growth do we look forward to?
For the culture, the first thing is we have to appreciate where we've come from. This will be our 9th year of doing a big New Year festival in Kilifi. Started with a bunch of friends who had an idea, and it's grown and grown and grown and grown into this site, which is even a little bit new to us. Maybe 4 years ago we moved to this 50 acres like I'm telling you about, you know, and the whole thing is we just want people to have a space to feel free to create. And also, like, one big key is to collaborate. People will come from outside and be like, do you know a band? I've never played with a band. Do you know this person? I've never done this. I've never recorded anything. We're working on, you know, setting up a studio space also. So the whole thing for the culture is for people to be able to hone, you know, their craft, to have the freedom to experiment and to grow, and to come back to us like, look what I've done since. To come back to us as friends and be like, my next album is even more than what I was doing. Like my other collaborations are even bigger than what I was doing. The money I'm making is even bigger, amen? Than what I was doing.
Reach sister.
Right? And the whole thing is we just want to be able to push independent and alternative artists of all kinds, because we have installations, we have murals, we have of course the musicians, we have the DJs, we have set designers that we work with that reimagine the space every single year, every single festival, you know? The whole thing is let's get creatives to have freedom to express themselves and to make a living realistically in this economy, like, you know?
Thank you very much, Julie, for making time for us. Maybe a last word there for people who you think should come through if they haven't even thought about it.
Guys, karibuni Kilifi, karibuni Pwani. I know you guys might not have a real concept of Kilifi. It's really like an unsung hero of the coast. But we're really doing it, and we're doing it all year round. And it's really, it's not for the tourists. It's for us here as indigenous, Kenyans, indigenous Africans, come through for the New Year festival before, after, the whole year. We are dedicated to the culture. We are dedicated to the people who are outside of the norm, outside of the mainstream. Even if you are mainstream, we even have that spot, but really we put the energy behind people who deserve a spotlight and deserve a space, you know, to really show their art and make their art. That's what we are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you in Kilifi.
Karibuni, please come through. Please feel very welcome. Feel very free.
They should check out the site, yeah?
Beneaththebaobabs.com is where we are. That is where you can get your tickets for this event, where you can find out about our restaurant, The Twisted Fig, our accommodation, our wellness festival, Kisima Festival, which we do once a year, our monthly events between the Baobabs. It's a whole ecosystem, let me tell you. If you're a sound person, if you're a 3D designer, come through. Our social media is wide open. If you have some kind of idea for some kind of retreat, if you do acupuncture, come and heal people at our festival. Fully, we are like, let's do this. Let us get everybody together and to a space where they can connect with other people who want to do the same thing.
All right. We are continuing with the conversation on Beneath the Baobabs, and I'm joined by the creative director, Matt Swallow. Going to inform us a bit on how they came about the concept of Beneath the Baobabs, what exactly can we expect in the future, but first of all, why the name Beneath the Baobabs? Are we expecting to party beneath the Baobabs, or what is that about?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Beneath the Baobabs is a 50-acre site for events, for culture, and that's why we host Beneath the Baobabs Festival. And it's literally that, we're beneath Baobabs. You know, we have many huge trees there that we built the structures around, our stages around. We have one that's on the cliff edge edge, there's 30-meter drop into the indigenous forest, and then we built a deck around that and a restaurant and stage close to that. Main stage, we have a baobab at the back. So baobab is very important. It's a very powerful tree. It's a very powerful symbol for Mijikenda culture, and it's very, in terms of what comes from that fruit, it's very good for us as humans.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right. Beneath the baobabs, you've done this for, I understand, 9 editions. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But now, for the 2 days and the 2 nights that people will be there beneath the baobab that you just explained in Kilifi, what can I expect for those 2 days and 2 nights? I like that you laughed first.
The best experience you could have at any New Year event, but most importantly, the get down, the dance, the openness of people, looking in one another's eyes and being able to celebrate together, no matter where you're coming from, your race, your creed, the color of your skin, your subculture or your community. But if you're open and you're down for it, then you can be celebrating with one another and come into that.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. How many artists? I know there's music, there's food, there's art. So maybe you could speak about each of those 3 parts that I've mentioned. What kind of food, what kind of artists are there, what kind of music, how many stages, maybe roughly that we can expect?
Yeah, so we're looking at 4 stages over 2 days, and they will rotate in terms of peak time, depending. So we'll always have music and art and other things happening all that time. So of course music takes center stage, and we're looking at a very diverse sound. So from acoustic music all the way through R&B and soul, through house music and amapiano, and all the way to drum and bass and heavier electronic music. Okay, so all the time we're looking at moving people around to new sounds, to sounds they're familiar with, to meet new people, and that's what it's about. An opening up to allow for music and art to allow you to see your sister or your brother that you maybe have not met before.
Right. So now, 9 years ago, bringing it from the past into the present, into the future, 9 years ago, what was the reason or the concept behind having Beneath the Baobabs, and what can we expect it to do for the culture in Kenya, music-wise, art-wise, and also maybe global, because I understand there's artists and musicians coming from all over the world. So the concept from the back then, and then also what we can expect into the future.
So 9 years ago, it was I was not founding that. This was coming from distant relatives, backpackers. This is all about finding our distant relative. So maybe you've never met this person from the other side of the planet, but they're coming to Kenya, and you can find some like values. So from there, they were looking at Kilifi, and we needed to uplift some sense of culture there. There was no events, there was no music that was being celebrated enough. So the idea there was every New Year, we have a party. This is peak season, people are already coming. So in that way, we can use that time and that space to celebrate.
All right.
So now, since COVID, we've moved sites, we've grown a bit bigger, and we're looking at Beneath the Baobabs now as a space and an idea for that, for people to come together and do that.
All right.
Is that making sense?
Yes, that makes sense, bro. Can't wait to see you at Kilifi, of course, at Beneath the Baobabs. But now a last call, of course, to people who haven't been going, or who are planning to go, thinking to go. Your last call to them, and then we can wrap it up.
So, if you were looking for something different, if you're looking for something out of the ordinary, and you're looking to connect and have 2 full days of celebration of music, art, wellness, and the whole experience, then we have tickets are still on sale at beneaththebaobabs.com. They're going very well, so we know there's going to be a good number of people. If you want to dance, you want to take your shirt off and show people how you dress, how you vibe, and just have a good time, this is the place for you. This is the New Year story for you.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt. Can't wait to see you. Welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. It's been lovely having you and also having that patience to stay with us. Right there, what we had is a conversation with the guys who are organizing Beneath the Baobabs, and it's a festival happening over at Kilifi from December 30th to the night of 31st. So if you want to be beneath the baobabs and enjoy Kenyan contemporary culture and music, and food, that is a place to be. Check out their website. You'll be able to have more information and relevant details on how you can participate as a volunteer, as a media partner, or even just as an attendee who wants to go there and just see what kind of contemporary and alternative art, music, and culture that is being displayed from all over the world. By the way, there's over 60 artists, 4+ stages where they get to perform 24/7 for 2 days and 2 nights. So check that out, as we even also encourage you to attend the festival, which is being organized by Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. Right about now, we're trying to take a look at how we are maintaining road safety. Yeah, it's a festive season. Watu wanahakikisha kwenda nyumbani. People will be traveling at night, traveling as a group, traveling as individuals. How do you stay safe in this period? People will be having a lot of fun late into the night, making their way home early in the mornings, or even just rushing from one place to another, trying to have a very exciting festive season. But we are also encouraging that you're staying safe, and we are trying to see what exactly you can do, even on an individual level, but even on a community and an institution-based level. National Transport Safety Authority has been, of course, a key player in that multi-sectoral approach to ensure that road safety issues are made an integral part of all government programs and projects. These requirements also apply to university programs and projects. We're going to see that as well. And I'm having here Mr. Samuel Musumba, who's the manager of safety programs and education at NTSA Kenya. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and maybe tell us how exactly, or what kind of mandate is there for him at the safety programs and education at NTSA, and then can segue into this conversation. So if you have any questions on road safety concerns, design of roads, anything that you have, please do send them to us at KUTV Kenya, at Richard_Kenye, and we'll be relaying them to Mr. Musumba. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Benguet. Thank you for having me around here.
Yeah? How are the roads now that we are?
It's terrible. This morning, actually, it's taken us almost 30 minutes just to get through here. Thika Road is wet. I think all the roads now are wet.
Yeah.
Because of the rains.
Yeah.
And majority of us don't know how to drive during this time. You want to do 100 speed,
and you can't even see
2 vehicles ahead. So there's a lot of that, and also most of the drivers are not putting on the fog lights, which is a requirement during this kind of weather. So it's really bad, and our advice to all drivers now, even as we go into the festivities, it's going to be raining. The weatherman says that. So let's just be cautious as we move along this road.
Right.
Yeah.
National Transport and Safety Authority, you are the manager of safety programs there. So maybe just a little introduction to who you are and what you do at NTSA.
Yeah, thank you, Managuri. My name's, like you rightly put, Samuel Musumba. And at the National Transport and Safety Authority, I head the programs and the education. It's just one of the functions that the authority does. Largely, we are an agency that looks at matters road transport and safety. And if you look at the road transport and safety as an area that we handle, it has so many issues, so many things. The road is there, the vehicles are there, and the users are there. So then largely, you want to look at then how do we make sure that all these segments are safe. The road user is safe on that road. The road is safe for use. The vehicles are safe for use. So then that means you have to come up with so many initiatives, so many programs that actually will try to address some of these issues. So largely, the programs that I really look at are programs that are geared to ensuring that all these segments are safe. Some of the programs are educational, just creating awareness around the issues. Some of the programs are really going to even research, just to address some of those challenges that are to do with the safety of the segments that I've talked about. Quite a number of programs that we look at to ensure that everybody is safe on these roads.
All right.
Yes.
Maybe and I'm going to put this on a very light note. I hope I don't offend anyone at NTSA. Back then, the person, I think a few years back, the person that was feared most on the road was an NTSA officer. Even traveling up country sometimes with my folks, sema, hey, hapa tutulie kidogo kuna watu wa NTSA kwa hii barabara. That is because, of course, before now the scariest organization on the road to meet is Kenya, which are always alert, just as NTSA always was, and it's a good thing, when you look at it from the side of road safety, ensuring that every road user is adhering to all the regulations that are there. But maybe just to build up on that very light note, how scary are the statistics on these roads? Because such initiatives like Kenya always ensuring that they're aware of what is happening, NTSA also ensuring that road users are adhering to regulations, point out that there's something scary going on in the background, and how is it?
Well, scary is a heavy word for us. Not that we were scaring people on that road, but I'll tell you, Manangura, is that the challenge we are facing as a country is so big when it comes to matters road transport and safety. And sometimes why we come out so strongly like this is because of the things that we see. It's the reality on the ground. People are dying on these roads. Today, as we sit here, somebody is either getting injured on that road or is dying on that road. I was just looking at the statistics when I was coming here, up to where we are now. Already, just to get very specific, we've already lost over 4,000 people.
This year?
This year. Just up to this time that we're sitting here. It was 4,315. If you compare that with the last year, at such a time, we were about 4,100 and something, 198, yes.
So the cases are going up?
Are going up. Notwithstanding the injuries that are in thousands, both slight and serious injuries, they are going into tens of thousands. And then if you look at the victims, the people affected on this road, it's everybody. Everybody. Pedestrians, who of course they're leading, and particularly in Nairobi, they're the leading. The Boda guys are there. They're also way up there. Drivers, passengers, pedestrians, children. So the roads are not, if you don't respect the roads, then they will not respect you at all. And they don't respect of persons, they don't respect of titles, they don't respect of vehicles. It doesn't matter which vehicle you're driving on this road, you will die.
It's not like I have a big machine, expensive car, I won't get into an accident.
We lost the governor of Nyeri. I mean, that was a Mercedes-Benz, right?
Right.
So which you would relatively say, that is a good car. So it is not a respect of anything or anybody if you don't respect that. So while we come out strongly to talk about safety and advise Kenyans to really be cautious on these roads is because of the statistics that we look at. And they say numbers don't lie. If you look at these numbers, this is just the beginning of December. And when it comes to December now, all the madness comes in, the travels and all that, the drinking and driving and all this. So we are projecting that if at all, people don't take this seriously, if they're not cautious at all, this number may hit 5,000. And that is a number that we have never hit. We have been doing about 3,000 thereabout. But not good enough because these are lives of people.
Right.
So you can imagine now if we hit 5,000 and the injuries now will be times, even 5 times of that, that would be really sad. And some of these injuries actually end up as deaths, And so when we look at that and when we come out with interventions and we come out strongly like this, Kenya start blaming us. How wanatukalia sana. But we know, if only we can be cautious a little bit, if only we can be patient a little bit on our roads, if only we can be courteous a bit on our roads, these numbers will actually come down. Largely, the highest contributor to these numbers is just behavior. 90% is just the way we behave. Nothing else. I always tell Kenyans, it's not rocket science here. It's just the way we behave. Why would you want to speed in such a weather? Honestly, this kind of weather condition. Why would you want to drink
and
drive at a high speed and expect to just get home, safely like that? The notorious ones keeps telling us, gari inajua nyumbani. Which vehicle knows home?
Ati gari inajua nyumbani.
It's you driving. So why you tell us gari inajua nyumbani? When did the vehicle actually ever speak?
Ever drive itself?
Drive itself. There must be somebody. Why would you belt up because there's a policeman ahead of you, or because there's an NTSA officer just ahead of you? You know, why should I keep reminding you?
It's not to be about the officer, it's about you.
You.
Right.
So the more we get this into ourselves, the more we get this as our culture of doing things that I don't need to be reminded of some of these things, then the better for all of us.
Right.
You know. Yes.
Right. So is that what streamlining of road safety means, and how exactly are you going to be doing this?
Yeah. One of the strategies that we have now come up with as government is to mainstream road safety in all government agencies. And we're even taking it further, that we mainstream it also in the transport sector, and even further to the private sector as well. Now, the whole idea behind road safety mainstreaming is just to culturalize road safety, to make road safety an integral part of our lives. So that nobody reminds you, Bonangure, of belting up. Nobody reminds you of not to speed. Nobody reminds you that, hey, you've taken one too many, you don't have to go into that vehicle. Nobody reminds you to maintain your vehicle. That's the whole idea behind road safety mainstreaming, that we make it our daily routine, our daily life, our culture of doing things. And so we began this by introducing it in the government agencies. All ministries, state departments, and agencies are now doing it as part of their performance contract. So in the performance contract, there is that you have to meet this particular target. And including institutions like Kenyatta University, all these institutions now are actually having it as their performance contract.
All right.
Now, at the end of the day, when you look at the advantages around when you embrace road safety to become part and parcel of this institution, there's so much you save, Bonanguri. Look at the lives you're going to save. If people are aware that, hey, I don't need to do this, I don't need to speed, I don't need to drink and drive, look at how many lives you're going to save. So many. Those of us who are not driving, for example, those of us going to use border out there, other means of vehicles out there, students, for example, and they are aware of this information, then they will know, if I'm on that vehicle, then I should be careful. If I'm on that vehicle, I should belt up. If I'm on that vehicle, then I see a driver who is drunk and speeding, I should report him somewhere. I should not board an overloaded vehicle. So it becomes common knowledge among the people, you know. Look at the institution like this. In terms of vehicle maintenance and the kind of vehicles you are purchasing, if you mainstream road safety, then you're talking about, you have to be very careful in terms of the choice of vehicles that you buy, the maintenance, the trainings for the drivers. You know, everything will be around safety. Even recruitment, by the way. When you're recruiting your driver, they'll be looking at, are they road safety savvy? Do they know that? So you go beyond the so-called the good conduct. I even don't know who vets you for good conduct anyway. You don't go for any interview. But we go beyond that and look at this driver from a road safety point of view.
Yeah.
Beyond even just the certificates you're giving us. You know, when you go for interviews, you pose like you are this very good guy, this angel, this guy who does so well. But where the rubber meets the road is really the actions that you do. So then we look at all that. It's a whole 360 kind of approach to road safety. So that we make it really our daily culture. And this has worked. When you look at the way HIV was done,
it was quite a difficult
task. But these days, you can't even tell who has HIV or not, isn't it?
Right. Because
people have it as a culture that I need to protect myself. Nobody tells you to buy a condom or to protect yourself and this kind of thing. It's almost normal, isn't it?
Right. True.
And that is the level that we really want to take road safety to.
And we can get there.
We can get there. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
We're now in the 3rd year of mainstreaming. We did it the 17th cycle of the performance contract. Now it's the 19th cycle. We are hoping 5 years now, down the line, I'm sure we'll be talking about safety everywhere.
Yeah, right. And it will be a different conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Will remind you.
Here I see also in 2020 is when the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, signed a memorandum of understanding with Kenyatta University to support, of course, road safety management in Kenya. And we can see there, of course, the signing happening on our screens right there with the Vice Chancellor, Mr. Paul Wainaina. And this collaboration is to provide a platform to research, innovation, and academic partnership. Some of those key areas I was taking a look at, and this is information you can get on the Kenyatta University website, is the use of technology in road safety. And maybe I want us to maybe stay a bit on that before I move to the other key areas. The use of technology coming in very handy, and also at a time when this is a very important discussion happening on a national level. Yesterday, the president saying that the theme of Jamhuri, of celebrating independence at this point now, this year, we are taking a look at technology and how we can innovate, connect, and inspire to ensure that we are, making a digital revolution in most, if not all, aspects of the economy. The use of technology in road safety, how does it come in? And maybe so far, how has NTSA, including Kenyatta University, been able to apply this, and what can we expect into the future?
Yeah, I think what the president was talking about yesterday, embracing technology, is here with us. It's a reality. We can't run away from it. And we're so happy that when he came out strongly yesterday, that they're even going to create an express road, super highway,
yes,
to ensure that people access digital services everywhere. And we're so happy about this. One of the things that we're doing as an agency in matters of transport and safety is really to embrace technology. If you look at most of our functions now, we have gone digital. Gone are the days when even accessing your license was a nightmare. People used to queue at Times Towers the entire week
to wait for
the license. I remember when I was getting my license many years ago, I had to send somebody to queue for me. Nimefika wapi? Nimesonga kidogo. Nimefika wapi? Then the guy says, "You are in work. I need lunch." So you have to buy him lunch to literally stay on the line, for you to access this document.
Dark times.
But today, we are happy that you can actually access it online. So all our services now are really online. The platforms are open. We have a system called Transport Integrated Management System, TIMS, which every transaction, every function that you want to book services for inspection of your vehicle, just go online there. All payments are made online. So there's nothing like human contact where people say, that is now a thing of the past. So we've really automated our services from registration, vehicles, licensing, the DLs. All this now are really on our platforms. And that is the way to go.
Right.
We are even now looking at the license we have, which is the digital license now we have.
Yes.
Because we have completely phased out those red books.
We don't need to be carrying papers anymore.
Exactly.
Yes, nowadays when I get a police officer who asks me about my driving license, I just tell them my national ID and they check it online on the spot.
Things are moving.
Yeah.
And we also take it now to next level of having instant fines. So you don't need to be taken through all the dramas on this road.
Because you made a wrong turn.
I mean, most traffic offenses are criminal offenses. So we're looking at a way of, can we improve efficiency in terms of enforcing that, that you can just swipe your fines and we get that. But that also will have another rider to it, because we want to introduce the demerit points on it. And these are in other jurisdictions, developed countries. I mean, that happens.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. You lose points over time, then we tell you, Bananguri, you're no longer going to drive. I mean, you have to go back for retraining and retesting before we give you the deal.
Yes.
And this is going to work, because then we are tying that responsibility to the way you are doing things on the road, the way you are, so that the license makes sense to you. It's not just a document that you carry to show the police, but it gives you that sense of responsibility. If I don't drive well, if I make mistakes, then I'll lose points. If I lose points, I'll no longer be on the road.
Drive, yes.
And that means you are grounded. If you go to the jurisdictions, you'll see if you are grounded, it means a lot to you. You are done.
You cannot get to work, you cannot do business.
Exactly.
Right.
It becomes too expensive for you. So we are looking at that, and even the enforcement now for the police, we also building their capacity in terms of embracing technology. So they don't have to go, you stop a vehicle, you have to go around this vehicle looking for, I don't know which kind of documentation. Just a matter of keying in the number of the vehicle, get all the information on your phone, and know whether this vehicle actually is roadworthy. If this vehicle has complied with the regulations that are supposed to be there. This driver, has he complied? Then you just check online. Is this a stolen vehicle? Is this a vehicle that is registered in the country? Be able to verify all that. And that should be able now to inform in terms of enforcement. So we're really embracing technology, and actually, if you look even at our staff, we have a very young staff.
Who are, of course,
technologically savvy.
Yes.
And that's really a big requirement we look at, even in our recruitment. We look at really, do you have a background to this? Because our systems are automated. How do you want to come and work with us?
Na nataka kutumia typewriter.
Typewriter ama kuandika makaratasi.
So now, in institutions, just like what we've seen here with Kenyatta University, and I'm hoping, of course, you're going to be doing this across other institutions as well. And you mentioned there, as we talked about technology, there's data, which is really important. Data on compliance, is this data on some of those demerit points. And data analytics is also one of the very important or key areas which are included in some of these partnerships, like the one with Kenyatta University. I wonder, is there also maybe some technology in the vehicles themselves to maybe for the institutions to be able to monitor how their vehicles are driven, if they're giving if they're sticking or they're being disciplined in how the routes in which they're taking. Let's say Kenyatta University needs to send a driver to Western Kenya. Are they sticking to that route? Is that kind of technology available to these institutions through NTSA?
Yes, as we're mainstreaming road safety in these institutions, one of the key areas that we are really imploring institutions to have are institutional policies, workplace policy on road safety. And as a policy area, one of the policy areas is fleet management. How do you manage your fleets to ensure that they're actually safe? You know where your vehicles are, you can track them, you can track the speeds and all that. So it's a very key policy area that we are really advising institutions to really embrace. And I will tell you this, that if you look at most institutions, the kind of vehicles now they have, which include buses, which include pickups and all that, one key area that we're really advising them to do is to have speed governance in those vehicles, to limit certain speeds. So when you have a very elaborate, a very good fleet management system, then you're able to monitor even those speeds. You're able to monitor the harsh brakings. You're able to monitor even the crashes that would happen. So your vehicles don't go, they are doing other business and you think they are actually working, officially somewhere, but they are actually doing other business. So that is an area that we are really helping institutions to develop, have a system that will actually ensure that you monitor your drivers, monitor your vehicles, and all that. And that, through that policy the institution have, which I know Kenyatta University now has a workplace policy on road safety, I'm sure that is a policy area that they are looking at.
Right.
Yeah.
I have here a couple of some of those achievements that Kenyatta University has been able to do during this journey in streamlining road safety, and I'll be going through them just in a short while. But as we also prepare to have a look at that, maybe just you are the manager of safety programs and education. So in these institutions, such as Kenyatta University, in what way does education come in ensuring that also mainstreaming of road safety is done, even from a curriculum point of view? Is that something that we can also be having a look at?
One, in terms of education, is creating this necessary awareness around road safety, which I'm happy that you're even giving us a platform like this to share with the community of Kenyatta University and the country at large. So that awareness, and I know there's a committee in place that steers the mainstreaming process at KU, is a road safety committee, because that's what we advise them to come up with. That's a structure that will coordinate all that. So public awareness and education is key for that committee. Two, in terms of trainings, particularly drivers, our proposal is that drivers must be taken for good trainings, courses that actually support them in terms of understanding safety, not just any other courses, go for defensive driving and other trainings that are there. The transport officers also, there are specialized trainings for them as well that we're even providing. We have courses that we're providing for that, so they should be able to go through that. One other key that we are pursuing as an MOU with Kenyatta University is research. That are we able to undertake some research with the university? Because that's really, our intervention is supposed to be evidence-based, evidence-informed. So how would we get this kind of evidence? We have the data, yes, we have information out there, but are we able to go a mile further and maybe do some research? So it's an area that we're exploring, and hopefully as we keep mainstreaming road safety, we should be able to undertake some research with the university. And I'm sure the university is a very fertile ground when it comes to research. You have the capacity, you have all these, you can do it actually. So we are looking forward to also that. One other area we're really pursuing with the university is, are we able to...
Maybe, sorry, maybe. Just, I've been just reminded quickly to have a look at a few of these achievements that Kenyatta University has taken, as you even go on with that, of course, highlighting what kind of partnership NTSA has been able to do with Kenyatta University. And here I see, of course, appointment of the University Road Safety Mainstreaming Committee, as you already mentioned, with 7 members who are under the chairmanship of the Registrar Administration, tasking with ensuring that the university is remaining compliant to road safety mainstreaming obligations and to steer road safety mainstreaming within the university. There's also development of a policy on road safety that is aligned to some of those NTSA guidelines that you just mentioned there. Preparation of an annual work plan for each quarter for road safety policy. They've conducted technical training for members of road safety committee and also sensitization of the management team, and this is an assistance, of course, by the NTSA. 79 of these drivers have been sent for training and defensive, on defensive driving, as you'd also mentioned there. All drivers are, properly licensed as well. They've undertaken current financial year to train 100 members of staff on transport section and mental health. And this is really important. It's good that when you're driven by a driver, you show that their mental health is in a good place. And in this area, it's important that we are seeing this also as part of mainstreaming road safety. The university has also erected 2 additional bumps as a speed control measure within the university, and the university on quarterly basis circulating road safety information to the university community, and I can attest to this. I've seen some of those flyers on road safety. The university also carries out road marking activities within the main campus in Q1 and Q3 of every single financial year. Speed limiters in all the buses, as you said, speed governors in all the 22 buses, 8 minivans and other lorries, and this includes speed tracking mechanism to know the location, and also some of those crash brakes, hash brakes, as you called them earlier. Car tracking devices, and also observing, of course, here the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Crash Victims, which is globally dedicated to the remembering of the many millions who are killed and or injured on road crashes. And we are seeing that this, the university also submits quarterly reports to NTSA in a prescribed format before the end of the 15th of every end of the quarter. This is a very robust relationship you have with Kenyatta University.
Yeah. And I'm so excited. When you're going through this, I'm almost clapping.
Yeah.
And you can see, when I was talking about mainstreaming road safety, it's so robust. It's a whole 360 kind of approach. It touches on vehicles, it touches on the people, it's even touching on the roads, and you can see what the university is doing. Now, we are glad that the university has embraced this. One, they have even a committee in place that is steering all these processes. Two, look at the awareness they're creating, among the community, look at the trainings for the drivers. It is such commendable. Look at even the vehicles, the way they are taking care of the vehicles,
right,
in terms of maintenance, in fact of speed management, and all that. The only thing I could say is that all this should not be just for the marks. Well, I know in performance contract people rush for the marks.
Like, yeah, this is our report.
Yeah, we have done
well.
we have done 100, that's it. I would really wish to implore to the to the registrar, to the university community, that let's make this our culture. Let's not make this just a PC requirement, just for marks alone. Let it go beyond the PC. That we do these things continuously. We want to see more bumps. We want to see more signs continuously.
Right.
It must be a continuous process.
It has to become a culture. And I have to say, I'm also as well excited, just as you said, to see this. I almost clapped, just that I know I can't do that. But I've seen this, more road signs in Kenyatta University, and I'm really happy to see them sticking to the NTSA guidelines, including training and even the ones that I can see, like markings on the roads and directions. There's a map at the gate of Kenyatta University to show you directions, to make sure that you're not even going to areas which are designated for students to walk. There are pathways for pedestrians and also cyclists. Even people who want to do skating around the university have a dedicated place where they cannot interfere with the traffic. And that's the only thing I can maybe also commend and ask the registrar to take a look at is to bring back the shuttles. I miss them. Yes, those are a very good sight to see, but very commendable work. Now, maybe just to round up this conversation on road safety, maybe expand it a bit to a national platform. We've seen every single morning when I come here, I read comments from Nairobi residents who are asking the governor and the relevant road authorities to ensure that there's human-centered design, which is being put into consideration as they design the roads, the flyovers, and the pedestrian walkways in town and out of town. I don't know if there is something you can say. Maybe I know for sure there's a bit of capacity still left for us to feel, and maybe some recommendations that you can give, or that you can maybe make us aware to know that this is in place, whether through NTSA or the government, into ensuring that even more of our road users are taken into consideration as the designs are being made.
Thank you. I would say we've come a long way as a country. You remember, Bonagure, there are many days when a number of roads had so many potholes. This Thika road was a nightmare.
Right. Just take 2 hours from Thika to Nairobi.
And I remember coming to visit my brother who teaches around here. I could get lost so many times, end up in Thika town, back, and all that. So we've really come a long way. But that notwithstanding, a number of the roads for a long time have been designed just for motorists alone. If you look at a number of roads in Nairobi, at least now there's an improvement, but then they were only designed for just motorists alone. They never took care of the non-motorized transport users, the pedestrians, for example, the children, the cyclists, the elderly, and all that. So those are some of the things that us now as an authority, we don't construct roads, but we plug in, we come in and advise the road agents that, look, it's a good road, yes, but as we are looking at the user, because at the end of the day, it's the user who really matters here. It can be a very good designed road, but is it accommodating the user? Is that space safe enough for the pedestrian, the child, the elderly, the blind guy who is using that road? So we've been doing that, and we are happy that most of our recommendations, the road agents, because we are in the same ministry anyway, has been taken up. Where there are no road markings, they actually do that, because we do audits. We do road safety, audits on these roads, and we're able to advise, accordingly. And I would say that largely, almost 90% of most of the roads are now okay. It just now depends on how does the road user interpret some of these things. I see a lot of issues on Gong Road where the lights are. Most of the junctions have been lit.
Right.
But see what happens. It's red and we are still walking. It is green, we are still walking. So, so you wonder, when shall we ever stop? I mean, do Kenyans really understand even these lights?
Right. Including pedestrians who think maybe the lights do not apply to them.
Exactly. They just want to walk and walk. And that's why it has even forced the city to even use the police to keep stopping us, keep reminding us, hey, look, it's now red, it's now green. So, but in terms of infrastructure, I would say there's quite a lot of improvement. Government has really done so much. Perhaps now the onus is on us as road users to interpret this space and see how do we use this space safely. But of course, there are also other roads that still need a lot to be done. Look at Outer Ring Road.
Yes.
Well designed, but it's a road that is killing so many people. Just because the road designers missed out on some of the safety facilities. So that is a conversation is also going on with the road agencies to ensure that there are provisions, proper provisions for the non-motorized users, create space for them. We are happy with the city, at least when NMS was there. You could see, in sometimes these days you walk on some of these streets and you wonder, where was this space?
Yeah, this space, I didn't see it before. There was a matatu here 2 months ago.
Somebody was selling wares here. There's so much space. You can actually walk from Milimani, those side, comfortably all the way to town. And people now enjoy even walking.
Right.
There's a lot of space.
True.
There's no human and vehicle traffic conflicts on majority of these roads. So we are hoping that with more expansion, with more of these provisions, and even for cyclists, we hope that things are going to be a little bit better.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you very much for, of course, getting us an insight into how the government is currently working, how NTSA is working, and also maybe the partnership with Kenyatta University, a very key indicator of how mainstreaming of road safety is being done from an individual basis to, an institution and a community as a whole. All road users, pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists as well being taken into consideration in this conversation, ensuring pia wao ni stakeholders of how we are going to streamline road safety. And this being the festive season, of course, Mr. Samuel, I'm just going to ask you in your final remarks to a reminder to the people who are traveling, this period, having fun, some of the things they can be taking into consideration to ensure they're still safe. We are still getting to the new year together. Isikuwe tu tunafikiria hapa, while also road safety is not something we think about. So all umesema, people just go drink, anangoja gari ipate njia ya kwenda nyumbani. I remember some time back during when we still had alcohol, it's people almost set up WhatsApp groups to wako hapa na hapa na hapa na hapa. So this is the new route we are using today, and it sounds like you're helping someone, but you're helping them towards a very dangerous direction. So your call out to Kenyans, and then we can wrap that conversation.
Thank you so much. I want to speak to Kenyans, and very passionately about this, that the festive season is here. It's good. We're going to marry, dance a bit, drink, and do all manner of things. But this is a season that, if you look at our statistics, is a season that we call the most high-risk season for all of us. So as we plan to go, wherever you go to, please plan your journeys. Journey planning is one major key area that we really have a challenge in terms of us as travelers. If you plan your journey well, you will have rests on the way, you reach early, and you'll not have all these problems of speeding and all this manner of things. You will not do that. So plan your journey very, very well. Don't be this last-minute dash of 24th. Saa sita usiku, I must get home because labda kule nyama inapoa or kuku inapoa or the beer is getting cool. I don't know. But just be, if we can be a bit responsible and just plan ourselves. And even look at the mathematics around traveling as well. You want to travel the whole family at this time, and you want to, in this small car, you want to bundle the whole family there. I think probability teaches us to play a bit with this mathematics. I mean, you can challenge that sometimes. You don't have to gamble and just put the entire family in this small vehicle of yours, and you risk the entire family, and the entire family just perish. We have seen that. Why can't other people travel separately? I mean, we have to tell the story at some point. The next thing I want to advise Kenyans is, please, as we do this, don't drink and drive. If you must drink, then have somebody designate who does not drink. That is quite important. as you travel also, I know a number of us are going to hire vehicles, a number of us are going to travel on roads that we have never we have never gone to a village for the last 1 year. Some of us even 2 years. Now this is the time you are going there. These are new roads for you. So as you go there, please be careful, be cautious. Speed kills. Don't speed on these roads. Be aware of whatever is on these roads. I also want to advise that if we can travel during the day, the better. Night travels are so risky. And on these roads again, nights, there are these drivers now who have LED lights on their vehicles. You'll be blinded and you'll just crash yourselves. So if we can plan our journeys and travel during the day, the better. For those who will be passengers, please avoid vehicles that are already overloaded. And there will be a lot of that now. Movement here and there. If you want to go, you will be at country bus. All of us want to go at the same time. Don't board any vehicle that's already overloaded. Any excess is risky, is dangerous, and also we'll be on the roads to do a lot of enforcement, so we'll be checking also on this. Look at the vehicle you are going to use. Is it compliant? Is it a vehicle that is roadworthy? Don't just board any vehicle like that. Right. And lastly is look at the drivers who will be taking you for those trips. If you realize a driver is speeding, you realize a driver is drunk, please get that information to us or report to the police so that we're able to take care of that. Right. Always belt up when you're on those vehicles. Don't wait for the police to tell you to belt up, or belt up for me as the NTSA. Please, it's for your life. Usalama huwa tunasema unaanza na wewe mwenyewe. Ni jukumu lako. I mean, please, it's your life at the end of the day. Right. And the more we handle life with dignity, the more we look at life as a special thing to us that God has given us, then the more careful we shall be.
All right. Thank you very much there. Of course, maybe just one sentence to other institutions. I know you've been working with Kenyatta University since 2020 to streamline that in universities. Just one sentence to other institutions as well who are watching, University of Nairobi and the rest, on how they can be doing that even before they strike a partnership with NTSA.
Wow. For other institutions, remember this is in the performance contract. As long as we're in government, this is a requirement. So the institutions that have not mainstreamed road safety, and I know there are quite a number of them out there, this is something we can start. It doesn't require resources, a lot of resources. It's something we can start. First things first, can we have a committee in place that will steer the process of mainstreaming road safety in your institutions? So I want to give you as a clarion call to all other universities, whether in government, whether private, out there, the TVETs out there that have not started this. Please, 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 let's start mainstreaming road safety. All we can still work with you. We can create this awareness. It doesn't require a lot of resources. We can do this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Musumba. He is the Manager of Safety Programs and Education at NTSA Kenya. We've tried to put into perspective this conversation on road safety mainstreaming in institutions and also in the national platform at large. So ensure you're getting those tips and noting them down. If you missed any part of this, remember it will be on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can get to read more on what Kenyatta University has done with NTSA, but also get to hear what NTSA is doing for every other road user. So usalama unaanza na wewe, so take that into consideration as you go into the festive seasons, and we will see you safely even after you come back. Asante sana, Mr. Sambo.
Thank you so much.
Have yourself a good day.
Thank you so much.
Now, I am going to be taking a very short breather for a few seconds, coming back with Akoth Atieno, who is the founder at Lisa Kenya. We're going to learn about it, and it's a neat wear brand. So while out of fashion of business of fashion is coming to you in a short while. Don't go too far. Interact with us on all social platforms.
Wazazi wangu ni special sababu wananipenda sana na mimi nawapenda pia. Kabla ya kuzaliwa, nikikuwa kwa tumbo ya mom, aliamua kulilinda na UHC super cover. Wazazi wangu walinilinda na wakajilinda na UHC super cover. Wana kila kitu ya kutulinda. Waliniambia inalipia kutibiwa magonjwa mingi. So leo ningependa kuambia mami na dadi asanti kwa kutumia UHC super cover. I love you.
Wacha familia yako iwe bora kadri uwezo wao, maana UHC super cover tuko nawe. Je, jukumu lako ni lipi? Ni rahisi. Lipia NHIF yako kila mwezi ya shilingi 500 pekee ili kujali afya yako, ya familia na jamii. Iwapo hujajisajili kama memba wa NHIF, tembelea kituo cha NHIF au huduma center yote nchini. Bonyeza *155# kujisajili au download My NHIF app kwa Google Play na Apple Store kujisajili. UHC Super Cover. Sasa sote tuko sawa.
UHC Super Cover. NHIF.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Kenyatta University will hold its 52nd graduation ceremony on Friday, 16th December 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app and all KU social media platforms. The chief guest is Deputy President His Excellency Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111 or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Imagine living in a society that embraces social justice and equal opportunities for all. On Woman Crush Wednesday, Rise Today, we bring you experts for meaningful conversations on matters, gender equality.
Mimi nasaona hakuna gender equality as we speak.
So we continuously work with the men.
I feel that they are judging the girl. Parenthood.
Mind is very important in infertility.
Mental and physical health.
You need to be surrounded by a proper network.
After nimeanza healing process, nilikumbuka kuhusu boys na wase wenye niliacha ghetto. Like, kila wakati nilikuwa najaribu kutafuta mbinu yenye naweza wafikishie ujumbe.
I feel like if you have 15 minutes, if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever amount of time, use it, because any physical activity is beneficial. No physical activity is dangerous for you.
And we touch on current affairs.
Marrying is a journey. It means you're taking a journey together.
I'm dying to be different. Changamoto ziko, but you can't sit there saying, oh, mimi nitafanya mziki siku yenye dozi itakampe. You look at this person and you're like, wow, they just woke up and they found themselves here.
Join us every Wednesday morning at 7 to 10 a.m. here on Rise Today Woman Crush Wednesday. I am your host, Nina Gikunda.
All right, I'm live on air, and we're back on KU TV Rise today, Biashara Tuesday. Thank you very much for staying tuned to this show from the beginning. It's 9:45 in the morning. Conversation are still hot here, and all of you guys who are interacting online are making me happy. I see Batman from Juja watching the show. I see Omondi Lennox Otieno, who's the CEO and founder of EcoBana Limited, the winners of HALT Prize 2022, and also working with the Ministry of Health by directives of the President to provide affordable sanitary pads to students all across the country. And sustainability is a very key factor in that conversation of EcoBana, and it's also what we are going to be having here this time round. At this point, I'm going to be introducing to you Akoth Otieno, who is the founder of Olisa Kenya, going to understand how sustainability also comes into her business. But for the guys who are interacting with me online, can't read all of your comments right now, but stick with us. I'll be reading them right after this conversation. So if you go online, be typing Olisa Kenya, and on Instagram especially, where she's showcasing the work that she's doing. It's a crochet knitwear brand for the woman who dares to wear her value on her sleeves. Crochet was named by Harper's Bazaar as one of the top 12 out of standout trends of the spring 2020 runway. Specifically, was introduced as Not Your Grandmother's Crochet. We'll get to know how Not Your Grandmother's looks like, but here is Akoth Otieno looking lovely in her own work, and just a few weeks after going to the Lagos Fashion Week, we're going to know how it felt like for you in Lagos. I hope I don't offend anyone from that side of the that side of the continent, but I hope you're under, light 24/7 and all of that, if you know what I'm talking about. But this is not about that. It's about your work at Olisa Kenya. So do people mostly refer to you as Olisa or as Akoth?
At this point, I think it's Olisa, but my name is Akoth Otieno.
Which one do you like to go with?
Akoth is.
Akoth.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Olisa is the brand.
Yeah, Olisa
Yes.
is the brand.
Yeah.
Okay. Akoth Otieno, CEO and founder. Who are you wearing?
I am wearing Olisa. Thank you very much.
Good for you.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be wearing your own work?
It's always an interesting car because I love what I make, and it's empowering in a sense as well. So there's always that aspect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not your grandmother's. Is it crochet? It's crochet, right?
Yeah, it's crochet.
It's crochet.
Yes.
Okay. Not your grandmother's crochet.
Yeah.
How's that different from my grandmother's?
I think the idea normally is the design angle and the contemporary aspect that comes. We all grew up in households where our mothers used to knit or crochet, and we all had these vitambas that used to be put on seats or couches. So ideally, when someone talks about Not Your Grandmother, we imagine we make the vitambas, so to speak, and just your regular knit sweaters. But there's more to it, is the point, yeah.
All right. You were in Lagos Fashion Week. How was that? And how did you get to go there in the first place? Because we don't get to see a lot of, Kenyan creatives in the fashion space getting access to some of these events. You saw your work being displayed there on the runway. It was exciting to, of course, support virtually. But how did it feel for you being on the ground and seeing it on such a platform?
It was quite an enlightening experience just by itself. But Olisa Kenya is mostly driven by craftsmanship and sustainability. So how we got to Lagos Fashion Week, they have a program called the Green Access Program. So what happens is they tend to empower up-and-coming designers who are within the sustainability space. So we are talking about ethical fashion and the idea of educating your clients around what does sustainability look like, what are some of these ethical practices. So we got into the Lagos Fashion Week through that program, yeah.
Oh, wow. It's a commendable work.
Thank
I'm
you.
really happy for you.
Yeah.
Do you do this yourself, or do you have, creatives that you work with that do the knitting themselves, or is this something you wake up to do every single day?
of course, it's a business. I have to do it every single day. But ideally, initially when I started out, and that was sometime in 2017, I used to do it myself. But then as the brand progressed, I now work with around 7 to 8 people. So what happens is we design, and since it's a purely handmade brand, that means these people, and I work with women at a refugee camp. It's called Rhino Camp in northern Uganda. So those are the people I work with. So it's a brand, a community brand, so to speak.
Right.
It is bigger than just a cloth at this point.
Right. Being a community brand, of course, you get also to work with other creatives. And I was saying here before we came on that I'm a very big activist for the rights of creatives.
Yeah.
I see models, I see photographers, I see probably people you get to think about the designs with.
Yeah.
How is it like working with those people in the fashion space?
I think it has been one of the biggest blessings by far, being part of the creative industry and just the community that comes with it. Because Olisa is mostly, we believe in collaboration, be it at a community level, be it at an industry level. So what happens is most of the models we work with are obviously Kenyan, most of the photographers we work with are obviously also from around, and it's been interesting because we get to learn from each other, and then and I believe that's one of the ways that we can build a sustainable fashion industry, especially in Kenya right now. But the reception has been good, and that we get to work with other really, really brilliant artists and designers and models. It's a good space to be at, really.
Right.
Yeah.
You're saying that Olisa Kenya is, a brand for a woman. Let me just read it. For the woman who dares to wear her value on her sleeve.
Yes.
Maybe tell us what that means exactly.
So,
how to wear value on the sleeve, and
yeah.
also, what about the man who wants to wear his value also? Where should he wear it?
So ideally, when I talk about values, when I'm referring to, at the most basic level, the Olisa woman is a woman who cares about who makes my dress, who makes my sweater, and what are the processes behind the sweater? Are they paid enough, whoever is making that sweater? And what environment is it the sweater being made around? So there's that, the idea of ethical practices, and the Olisa woman caring about those. But then on the other side, we all love a good dress. You wear the right thing, and your confidence level obviously just shoots up. So as a value-driven here could also mean that I believe in embracing my own power as a value. I believe in confidence as a value. So you are not afraid to try out new stuff because at the heart of it, it's innate for you. So the idea of being an Olisa woman is wearing that dress and the best parts of you automatically jump out. Yeah.
All right. And the man?
So yeah, I've gotten this a lot. And our next collection, surprise, surprise, has some male items coming up. So yeah. It is going to be, it's been an interesting process of defining the Olisa man and ideally who the Olisa male muse would look like. So it's exciting, and I can't wait to show the world what that looks like next year.
Right.
Yeah.
The Olisa man.
Yes.
That could be interpreted in very many other ways, but we're going to stick with the man who's wearing the Olisa brand.
Yes.
All right. Do you have organizations that you work with?
Technically, from a production processes level, we work with 2 women groups right now. So that has been also quite instrumental in how we function and the processes behind the background. But on a networking level, I think the beautiful thing that 2022 has been was us being part of organizations like, we were part of Creative DNA, which was earlier this year was an incubator of sorts. That empowers local brands and upcoming brands, and that was a beautiful space. So being an alumni of Creative DNA 2.0 and being an alumni of Lagos Fashion Week Green Access Program, so it's helped us build a network, so to speak. So that has been there, and it's also very beautiful things for us.
All right. Sustainability being, of course, a very key component of your work there. Do you think the fashion sector has a role in playing in sustainable development, considering also, because we just mentioned their HALT Prize winners for 2022, Ecobana, who are providing accessible and sustainable sanitary pads to school-going children. Next year, HALT Prize theme is redesigning fashion. And this is also a very sustainability-centered theme. how does fashion come in sustainable development?
So I'll start with from an environmental perspective, in the sense that the creative sector, fashion to be specific, and from an Olisa perspective also, one of the reasons why we use crochet as our main medium is because crochet is a zero waste process. So there is little to no harm done to the environment while at it, and the yarns we use are also hand spun and hand dyed to just ensure that there is no harm, so to speak, goes to the environment. But from creative industry perspective, I'm one of those people who believe creative industry play a really important role in sustainable development. One, because we are largely inspired by tangible and intangible cultural capital. And no country can develop without evolving this cultural capital, so to speak. And there's also the angle of we play a role in preservation, just outside of economy. We're talking about documentation and general knowledge, putting it out there. You can do that without the creative industries, be it film, be it music, be it fashion, because half of it is informed by the lived realities we have at the moment. Yeah.
All right, that's actually a very technical answer, but I think very apt and relevant for us to be contemplating. Especially, I like the aspect of culture, using fashion as also a means to document our culture, because even the knitting is something that we've picked up from our grandmothers. Yeah, so I'm really glad to see that. Pricing. Let's talk the big math. How much does it cost to get something from Olisa? And from what is the range of products I can get from Olisa?
At the moment, we have resort wear, which is mostly for women. And then we also have sweaters. So we have sweaters, dresses, bikinis, and the whole shebang, a whole line. And our prices range somewhere between 8,500 to 49,000 shillings. Yes.
So for 8,500, what do I get? And for 49,000?
You ideally get a cropped sweater. Yes,
okay.
As a woman.
49,000 is your signature. I'm guessing that's your signature product. What is that?
Not really. 49,000. It's actually a dress. So it's a long dress, and anything maxi, anything that is made from perhaps silk and whatnot. Because normally it also depends on how long it takes and the kind of material we use for it. So there's that as well.
Okay. I'm being told here it's 9:56 in the morning and the show ends at 10 a.m. Looks like we're going to close the show with you just right about now. But just a final word to people who want to get access to products from Olisa Kenya, where they can go through to get to you, what the process looks like. Do you get to take their measurements and stuff like that? How do they make the orders?
Yeah, so at the moment, most of our products are bespoke, which means they're tailor-made. So there's also that angle. So ideally, a client reaches out and then we work on the product. However, they're also ready to wear pieces that are now available on array.shop. So that is also, you can also find us there and shop your ready-to-wear Olisa items.
All right. I want you to think of a closing remark if you were a co-host of mine, and then we are going to do that in a while. But thank you very much, guys. That was Olisa. That was Akoth Otieno, the founder and CEO, rightfully so, of Olisa Kenya. You can get to see her crochet knit wear brand and get to access some of those products. Very amazing to see her work there on display at the Lagos Fashion Week, and also a part of the Creative DNA 2.0. Here from me, I've been very happy to interact with you guys online. I couldn't mention all your names, of course. Maybe just roughly: Derek Meli, Chenwach, I see Adrian Koech, Seneti, I am Mitambo, Atsi Ateta, Anthony Onamu. Thank you guys for tuning in on Twitter and also on the live stream that has been happening. From me and my whole team, today I'll just mention them quickly. On the camera has been Elvis Mudamba, Martha Ojuki. On the gallery, we have Angela Silayo, Kelvin Wafula, Joan Okumu, who's the assistant producer. She said I have to mention that. On the transmission is Jovial Dickens, Ochieng Omondi, and Major Minor. Major Minor, and the social media has been Ernest Onyango. Zaina Abu, and also from my producer and director, the able, the amazing Ryan Ngure, and myself as the host. It's been lovely having you. Until next week, if you want to have breakfast in bed, sleep in the kitchen. Or Lisa, Akoth, you'll have the last word.
Okay, nice one. So I think ideally my closing remark would be your story matters, and your voice actually does matter, and it's an important part of the whole ecosystem. So it is important that you actually put your ideas, your stories, take that leap, put your ideas out there. Yeah.
All right. See you next week.